Alrighty, greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Kirk Cousins. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome. Happy holidays, everyone. We are going to be talking all things fantasy football for the next 2 hours straight here. Of course, preparing our lineups for week 16 of the 2022 Fantasy Football Championship. First and foremost, if you are here, if you're just present, that means you've made it to week 16. That means you've made it past the first round of the fantasy playoffs. And of course, you're getting into hopefully the conversation of advancing to the fantasy championship weekend, whether that's in week 17 or 18. Hopefully it's in week 17, just so we don't have to mess with any players missing in week 18. Nonetheless, congratulations for making it thus far. Happy holidays. Hope you all are doing well. Of course, immediately to the right of me, you can see we have updated rankings on screen. Top 36 running backs, wide receivers, top 16 quarterbacks, and tight ends. As of this morning, up to date, ready to go. There are a lot of questions, whether it's injury related, whether it's weather related, whether it's just, hey, which of these two stud options that I have to start one of the two do I want to go with, Andrew? If you guys are asking for my opinion, this is the way I would play it as such on screen. Of course, we're going to be going through a bunch of questions that are being sent in via Super Chat and or the live chat. Hopefully, I'll be able to answer your question by proxy of answering somebody else's if I'm not individually able to get to yours. But that's pretty much it. You guys know the gist. You guys have been here for a while. Hope you all are doing well on this wonderful Saturday. My entire mind, my body clock is all off because it feels like it should be a Sunday, but it's not. So either way, at least we get an extra day of football here for week 16. Okay, a couple things that I wanted to mention before we immediately get into hopping into some of these questions, all this kind of jazz. I do not have Deshaun Watson ranked, not interested in playing him. I do not have either the Cleveland tight ends ranked. Neither do I have Amari Cooper and or DPJ in my top 36. The primary reason is because unlike other weeks in the past, this week is different. You guys know my stance when it comes to weather. Many of you guys have asked me in the past, Andrew, do I play my studs because of these wind conditions, because of this? Typically, I say, hey, why don't we just wait until game time? If it's really that bad visually, then yeah, we can pivot off of it. Otherwise, it doesn't really bother me. And typically throughout the course of this season, that has been the case. Weather hasn't been a big impact, whether it's been, winds of like 10 to 11 miles per hour. But today's different. The East Coast was hit pretty hard last night, and the wind conditions are absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the Cleveland game in itself is 27 to 33 mile per hour winds. That is the range at a base minimum, okay? And it certainly could go ahead and go even past that. Based on the report that I saw from Jake Trotter, he currently, the guy is he works for ESPN to cover the Cleveland Browns. He has boots on the ground in the Brown Stadium. The entire field is iced over. And his quote was, I walked through the stadium and the parking lot for the last 15 minutes, and I don't know how a singular pass is going to be completed today. That's his quote, as boots on the ground. I'm telling you, the wind, 33 miles per hour, is ridiculous in comparison to 11 or 12 on a singular weekend. And of course, that doesn't even include the potential for snow starting within that game and or potential gusts that'll pick up even more, like 45 mile per hour. Imagine trying to kick a field goal in those scenarios. It's going to be running all day. Therefore, we have guys like, Taysom Hill specifically ranked where he is. And of course, the likes of Alvin Kamara and Nick Chubb at a pretty high number. Hopefully, they're going to get themselves pretty good efficient numbers with the opportunities that they're given. Either way, besides that game, the Chicago game will probably have weather concerns, but nothing is going to compare to the reality of what that Cleveland game is going to be today. So just wanted to go ahead and preface that. We'll go ahead and probably mention that over the course of today's live stream. We'll also mention kicker and defensive rankings as we progress, because that's certainly something that we want to keep an eye on. So once we get there, probably in about, I'd say 14 minutes, I'll go ahead and mention those rankings. Otherwise, let's get into answering some questions. I know Robert just in the live chat was saying wind chill is -13 in Chicago, -14 in Cleveland, and -3 in Boston. Exactly. The weather is going to play an impact today. Not really. In some circumstances, yes, the wind, because really, when I've done the look at the weather report as of this morning, a lot of these games, like New England, minimum 17 mile per hour winds. Chicago, minimum of 22 mile per hour winds within that game, right? Of course, Cleveland is the craziest. Kansas City sits at around 12. Carolina sits at 14. Baltimore's at 14. Pittsburgh's at 16. Tennessee's at 14. Wind is going to be a huge difference maker today, but either way, hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of perspective before we get into everything. I just saw that Monsanity in the chat was saying Juwan Johnson or David Njoku. If I had to pick between those two tight ends and you had no other potential options of pivoting, I would play Juwan Johnson of the two. I don't love it, but I'd rather play that because I know the Saints are really good at stopping opposing tight ends. So David Njoku's probably not going to have a great overall experience to begin with. Okay, thank you very much. Here we go. Let's get into answering questions because we gotta rapid fire today, shall we? Before we begin, a couple more things. If you haven't yet already, do me a solid. Click that like button down below. Certainly helps the channel continue to go every single day. Also, if you guys haven't checked out Prize Picks yet, there's a link down in the description. You're picking more or less on given player statistics. Again, it is the 12 days of Pickmas. So if you guys haven't checked them out, you can use promo code Andrew to make that first-time deposit when you sign up because your first-time deposit is immediately doubled up to $100. So check that out. Link in the description. Got a couple good plays as of today and tomorrow that should be fun. All right, let's get into this. Beginning with Joe PD10 says, bro, happy holidays. Happy holidays to you as well. Thank you. I appreciate that. Says, please help me out. I need 2 full PPR, Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins, Juju Smith-Schuster. Many thanks. Yeah. So of the available options in a full PPR, I would play Juju Smith alongside of J.K. Dobbins this week. I really like their matchups overall. Thank you. Appreciate it. Tommy Vu sends in a question. Tommy says, Merry Christmas, Andrew. Help me choose one, Rodgers or Goff for today's game. Yeah, I will take Aaron Rodgers is great, but I'll take Jared Goff there between the two of them. Jared Goff, 4 consecutive games of 240 plus passing yards. Last 4 games has consisted of 8 passing touchdowns. The consistency is there. The matchup is in his favor. I'm expecting him to have a pretty big game this week in terms of just being that middle of the pack, solid back end, low end QB1 that obviously has upside in comparison to someone like Aaron Jones, which that offense is so heavily predicated on running the ball and getting their running back so involved. It is tough to trust them. So I'll take Jared Goff there. Thank you. We had a question from FF. Thank you very much. Very generous of you. Happy holidays, Andrew. Says standard pick one wide receiver, 1 tight end, 2 flex options. Okay, so we have Juju, we have Mike Williams, we have Darius Slayton, Kenneth Walker, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Tyler Higbee, Nova. Okay, here we go. So of the available options you have here, the wide receiver that I'm playing out of the bunch is Mike Williams. The running back, the tight end that I'm playing out of the bunch would be Tyler Higbee over Noah Fant. And then I would play Raheem Mostert and Kenneth Walker as your flex options there, FF. As for your follow-up question in a half PPR scoring format, pick one. We have quarterback Rodgers, Carr, or Minshew. Okay, so I did a little bit of research on the Carr situation. Derek Carr, in games of 40 degrees or less in his entire career, has never had a game of more than 1 passing touchdown and has never been able to score as an offense more than 16 points. Therefore, and he's also 0-6 in those 6 contests. Therefore, we've adjusted accordingly, right? We've pivoted him a little bit further down. I can't really move Devontae Adams down because he's an automatic, and I feel like Darren Waller, in comparison to the rest of that tight end personnel group within like the top 10, solidifies himself there just because he is Darren Waller, and we know what kind of upside he has, and he demonstrated that last week, even though he played only 47% of the snaps. So anyway, as to answering your question specifically, I do prefer Minshew over Carr and Rodgers. As for the follow-up there, 2 wide receivers, you have Evans, Christian Watson, D-Hop. If I'm picking 2 out of those 3, I would be picking D-Hop and Christian Watson and benching Mike Evans. Thank you very much, FF. I appreciate it once again. All right, Jaden Thornton says, thanks for all the hard work and happy holidays. Happy holidays to you as well. What I want to probably do henceforth, guys, is anytime somebody tells me happy holidays, I'm just going to keep it rolling. Just know that it's always happy holidays, and I appreciate it, and I hope you guys are doing well, okay? Made it through the bye in both my money leagues because of you. Dobbins or Najee Harris? I'll take Najee Harris today. I really do think that despite the fact that I have Najee Harris currently ranked, where do I have him right now? 15 on screen. Despite having him at 15, I think he could very easily finish as a top 8 running back within the week. I truly do believe that there is upside for that based on everything within the matchup. Thank you. All right, Connor Worthing sends in a question. Let me see if I can find your question, Connor. Let's see here. So Connor Worthing says, half PPR, Hubbard, Moss, Goodwin, Chark, or Muth. Of the available options there in a half PPR scoring format, I probably would play with Goodwin or Moss. I'm leaning in the direction of probably playing Marquise Goodwin. The assumption is, of course, the higher upside having to keep up with an offense like the Kansas City Chiefs is going to force Geno Smith to throw for majority of that game. So he's probably in my mind, safest play of the bunch. I think Zach Moss probably splits some touches with Deion Jackson to the extent to where if he doesn't find the end zone, he probably won't be able to outscore specifically Marquise Goodwin. So I'll take Marquise Goodwin there. Thank you, Connor. I appreciate that. Moving on, we had a question that came in from Nathan. Dennison says, would you play Kamara over Walker? I would play Kamara over Walker. The weather concerns, all of that kind of stuff is leaning in the direction of most likely getting, specifically with Kamara, probably just as many touches as he had last week, which is fantastic. Does it say DJ Metcalf? Yeah, it does say cheese. That's DJ Chark. What do you mean? Hold on, wait. Where's DK? It does say DJ. All right, I'm fixing it. Thank you very much for pointing that out. I don't know why it's goodness. With all the DJ Charks and DJ Moores, DJ Metcalf. The J is right next to the K on the keyboard, okay? I just confirmed it by looking down. So, I'll adjust that. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. That's actually funny. All right. While I am fixing that via Photoshop, let's see. What was the question exactly that was being posed by Nathan? Okay, yeah. So, we're going to play Kamara over Walker. Again, he should be running for majority of the game, even with the potential of someone like, Taysom Hill getting his rushing attempts. It's not something that I'm too concerned about in terms of the baseline overall rushing attempts that we should see streamlined in Kamara's direction. Okay, so let's go ahead, save as. Hopefully Photoshop and the 1,000 layers that I have on this thing is not going to completely erode my computer. All right, awesome. Boom, bang. All right, it should be up to date on screen. It should be DK Metcalf. I do appreciate y'all pointing that out. Yeah, it does say DK Metcalf now. All right, cool. Moving on, we had Metal Wings. Says Merry Christmas and thank you, thank you, buddy, for the support. I appreciate that, Metal Wings. I appreciate your support again. If you had any other questions, let me know. Thank you. Riff sends in a question. Says pick 2, half PPR: Higgins, Sanders, Lenny, White, Swift. Of the available options there, I'm gonna play Higgins and Sanders as the primary one too. Thank you. Mark Fiore says. Lineup. Okay, here we go. Lineup help. We have a 1 quarterback full PPR league. Fields or Burrow. I'll take Fields there. 2 running backs out of the potential options. So we have Barkley, David Montgomery, Rachaad White, Moss, Singletary. I'll play David Montgomery and Barkley. Moving on to the follow-up question. We have 2 wide receivers that we have to select from. We have McLaurin, Watson, London, Chark, and Burks. Yeah, I'll take Watson and McLaurin there. And then the follow-up mark. 1 flex play out of the bunch. If I'm flexing one of these players in a full PPR, I'm leaning towards, it's probably going to be Drake London there. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, Jersey Style. Let's see where you're at, my man. Jersey Style. Jersey Style says, happy holidays, Andrew. In a full PPR, I need to start DJ Chark or Marquise Goodwin. I'm playing Swift and Goff already. Also, okay, so first and foremost, yes, I would rather have Marquise Goodwin in my lineup this week. That's where I'm going. And it probably kind of saves you a little bit by having too many eggs in one singular basket of the Detroit Lions. So at least Marquise Goodwin gives you a little bit of variability there. As for your follow-up question, you have Rachaad White in your flex. Would you play a receiver like Chark instead? In a full PPR, yes, I would. I would rather play Chark there. So in that case, we're going back to getting into the three Lions conversation this week. So yeah, I would rather do that. Thank you. Appreciate it, Jersey. All right, Josh sends in a question. Josh Costin says, I need a defense, Titans or Ravens. All right, great question. So let's go over this, shall we? Let's talk about top 12 kickers and defenses. This is kind of a perfect transition to it, shall we? So let's talk about top 12 defenses for this week. I have it ranked as such. Number 1, San Francisco 49ers. Number 2, Buffalo Bills. Number 3, Tampa Bay Bucks. Number 4, Denver Broncos. Number 5, Baltimore Ravens. Number 6, Tennessee Titans. Number 7, Cleveland Browns. Number 8, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. 9, Dallas Cowboys. 10, New Orleans Saints. Number 11, Pittsburgh Steelers. And number 12, Los Angeles Rams. Okay, so that's my top 12 defenses. So to specifically answer your question, Josh, Titans or Ravens, let me go ahead. It would be Baltimore at 5 and Tennessee at 6. So therefore, we play Baltimore against the Atlanta Falcons. Thank you. Now, as to the follow-up there, top 12 kickers. Number 1 is Brett Maher. Number 2 is Evan McPherson. 3, we have Daniel Carlson. 4, Justin Tucker. 5, Graham Gano. 6, Michael Badgley. 7, Chase McLaughlin. 8, Eddie Pinheiro. 9, Nick Folk. 10, Jason Myers. 11, Jason Sanders. 12, Harrison Butker. Thank you. All right, moving on. We had Jake St. Paul sending a question. Says, play one at a super flex. I lost Jalen Hurts. It's either Sam Darnold or Mike Williams. I'll play Sam Darnold there. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Jake. Yeah, I'd be pretty confident in Sam Darnold. He's my number 16 quarterback on the screen right now. I have him ahead of guys that are like Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watsons of the world, etc. I think just purely off of the matchup itself, playing the Detroit Lions secondary. I mean, last week we saw Zach Wilson quite literally throw for 300 plus yards and 2 touchdowns against that secondary, right? So there's a lot of intrigue in potentially playing Sam Darnold, who, as of right now, even though they both have played for the Jets, I think Darnold is certainly the better quarterback. Andrew sends in a question, says, Eagles defense or the Titans? Yeah, I'll take the Titans defense this week there. As for your follow-up, DeAndre Hopkins or Deontay Johnson? Deontay Johnson luckily got a full practice in yesterday, which is fantastic on Friday. So that's why I've kind of reestablished him within my rankings. I was almost concerned to an extent yesterday that he may not play, but I did do a little bit more research last night, got confirmation that, in fact, he did practice. Therefore, we're still going to play Deontay in some capacities, but in your position, Andrew, I am playing DeAndre Hopkins with the opportunity here. Thank you. Bald God says, Christian Watson or Brandon Ayuk? I'll take Christian Watson there against the, as someone was saying yesterday in our chat, a very suspect secondary for the Miami Dolphins. Christian Watson should be able to have himself a pretty good game there. Thank you. Connor, okay, we took care of that one. We then follow up after Connor by going to Frank Hernandez. Thank you very much. It says, Hollywood, Hodgins, or Gallup? I don't like either of the three. Wow. I don't really trust. Oh, man, I don't trust any of them. I'm not playing Gallup. I know that for certain. I know Gallup and Noah Brown can be interchangeable, which makes it impossible to play either of them. So it's really between Isaiah Hodgins or Hollywood Brown. At this point, who do I have ranked higher? I think I probably have Hollywood ranked higher. Most likely. Let's see here. So as for half PPR, where's Hollywood? Hollywood Brown is 40 and Hodgins is 56. Yeah, I'll go Hollywood Brown there. Thank you. Danny D says, I need a defense. Patriots, Bengals, Steelers, Lions. Of the 4, I have the Bengals ranked the highest. And then we follow up by saying, oh, you also have the Saints and Texans. Yeah, no big deal there. I'll still play the Bengals over the bunch. Thank you. Bradley Harris sends in a question. Let's hear Bradley. Where art thou, question? All right, there wasn't anything attached to it, Bradley. So you're going to have to just send in a message in the just regular live chat. Just type it in there, and I'll be able to get to it. Thank you. All right, King O'Shawn says, Okonkwo or Cole Kmet? I'll take Cole Kmet, primarily because of the Malik Willis change from Ryan Tannehill. If Ryan Tannehill was starting, Chigoziem Okonkwo would be significantly higher in my rankings. So at this moment, I'm leaning towards the direction of playing Cole Kmet there. Thank you. Sebastian Alex says, were you able to check on Carr's stats in the cold? Yeah, it's not great. Therefore, we're probably pivoting away from it, Sebastian. Thank you. Pancakes or GTFO says, flex full PPR, Devin Singletary, Mostert, or Latavius Murray. I'll take Mostert out of that group. Thank you. Appreciate it. Moving on. We had Vital Valdez says, Andrew, happy holidays. Thank you very much. Says full PPR, start 2, running backs. We have the potential of Elliott, Mostert, Pacheco, Fournette. Yeah, I'll take Elliott and Mostert there. Again, those two guys are in prime positions to succeed, of course. Elliott with the consistency, Mostert with the limited nature and or complete backup nature of Jeff Wilson. It should be a pretty good week for both those guys. Donovan Langley says, full PPR, 1 wide receiver option and a flex out of Fournette, Thielen, Marquise Goodwin. Already started Zonovan Knight. Merry Christmas, man. Thank you very much. All right, so Zonovan Knight. That's a rough play to say the very least. I've had Fournette pretty much in the realm in a full PPR at least ahead of majority of this group. So I'll take Fournette there as your flex, and I'll probably just play Marquise Goodwin there as your wide receiver 1. Thank you. Appreciate it. Or at least your 1 wide receiver available spot. Thank you. Juwan Fly says, Fields or Cousins? Happy holidays. Thank you. I'm playing Fields there. I think Cousins has the safety of getting you 250 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, but I do not believe that he has as much of a potential for upside in comparison to someone like Justin Fields. So I'll play Fields there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Mig says, Half PPR, flex, Chris Moore, Chark, Moss, or Goodwin. Out of the 4 options there, I'll take Goodwin. Thank you. Anthony sends in a question, says, kicker and defensive rankings. Okay, we took care of that, so we're good to go there for a little while. Thank you, appreciate it. Romans828 says, flex 2, we have Deontay Johnson, Marquise Goodwin. We have Zach Moss. We have Deion Jackson, Pat Freiermuth, Dallas Goedert, and Antonio Gibson. Out of the bunch, it's probably safest in my mind to play guys like Dallas Goedert and Deontay Johnson as the 1-2 there. That's kind of the idea that I'm having in my mind. So that's kind of the direction I would pivot in. Thank you. Vic84 says, Merry Christmas, Eve, Andrew. Okay, so help. I started Zay Jones, crying emoji face, full PPR flex, Montgomery, Fournette, Njoku, Thielen, Khalil Herbert. Okay, so out of those options, I will play Fournette in a full PPR scoring format. To follow up that question, you had Dallas, Titans, or Chargers defense. I'll take the Titans out of that group. And the follow-up question is between kickers, Matt Gay of the Rams or Chase McLaughlin of the Indianapolis Colts. I would suggest playing McLaughlin. The guy's had himself like a 50-yard field goal, I think, in like 3 or 4 consecutive games. If you play in those leagues where you get like 5 points in those circumstances, it's a pretty good overall spot there to be had. Thank you. Paris Lark says half PPR flex. Pick 2. All right, so we have Pacheco, Dillon, Mike Williams, Schultz, and Kittle. Of the available options, I'd play Kittle and Pacheco. Thank you. Okay, so really quickly, a reminder for those of you who are just joining us this morning, welcome. Again, the rankings on screen are up to date as of this morning, quite literally probably 5 seconds ago more like 5 minutes ago, where I changed DJ Metcalf to DK Metcalf. Either way, they're up to date. This is how I would play it as such in terms of interpositional half PPR rankings. In a full PPR, yes, there's a little bit of adjustment, but it's not a significant margin. I just want to meet everyone in the middle, whether it's a half or full PPR scoring format. You guys know the gist. Either way, again, like I mentioned earlier, and I saw a couple of people asking in the chat, the reason why you will not see any Browns and or Saints receiving options and or quarterbacks on screen in terms of rankings is primarily because of the weather conditions in Cleveland. 30-mile-per-hour winds. Not really going to be conditions that are at least going to be able to be taken advantage of in many of circumstances in terms of the passing game. Don't really trust either of those quarterbacks at a maximum capacity either. So it's more of a heavy running game with the likes of Chubb sitting at 7, Kamara at 12, and of course, Taysom Hill, the thumbnail of today's episode, at 9 at the tight end position. Thank you. All right, we move on to Bryce K. Says, hi, Andrew. In a half PPR, I need a flex option. We have Julio, Russell Gage, Chris Moore, Adam Thielen, Deion Jackson. I'd play Adam Thielen there. Thank you very much. So he scored a touchdown in, 3 out of the last 4 games. As long as, defenses continue to focus on Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, and now the recent emergence of someone like KJ Osborne. JK. Flipped it in my mind. And KJ Osborne, specifically coming off a week where he had 16 targets, 10 catches, over 100 yards. If they put any more effort in covering KJ Osborne in comparison to Adam Thielen, he's going to sneak past and probably find himself in the end zone again. The primary reason why I say that is because the last time earlier this season when KJ Osborne had 11 targets, he followed up the next week by literally having 2 catches for 25 yards. He's not a mainstay in that offense. He's just a situational guy where in some circumstances he steps up. Otherwise, yeah, I do trust Thielen in that offense as the number 2. Thank you. Joe Swanson says, Watson, Mostert, Mike Williams. Half PPR, thank you. If it's Christian Watson, Mostert, Mike Williams, I will play Raheem Mostert out of the group. Thank you. Tony Telford says, Merry Christmas, bro. Full PPR. Do we start? Okay. A little bit of, it's fine. I'm assuming what you meant is, do we truly start Okonkwo over Njoku with a smile on our face? Technically, yeah. I actually do believe you you probably don't do it with a smile on your face because technically you want to start Njoku, but due to the circumstance, it's the best case scenario. And then you followed up by saying you benched Ingram because of the weather. Listen, that weather concern wasn't that bad. You see, that was, hey, it's going to rain in the second half, and that was confirmed pretty early in the week. And then on top of the fact that the wind conditions was 11 miles per hour, right? So those in comparison to what we're now going to see in Cleveland is significant. But yeah, I would probably say play it safe and let's go with Okonkwo, because if David Njoku catches a pass, maybe it's only one pass today, he could score a touchdown, but the likelihood of him getting a high volume of opportunity, especially due to the conditions, is relatively low. Jeff Carpenter says full PPR, Amari Cooper or Latavius Murray. I'll take Latavius Murray there. Thank you. Joe Boggs sends in a question, says half PPR. I have AJ Brown. I have Jalen Waddle in the flex right now. Would you take Rhamondre over either of them? In a half PPR scoring format, yes, I would take Rhamondre over both. Therefore, my suggestion would then be to just probably, technically based on rankings, you would then be sitting Jalen Waddle today and playing AJ Brown alongside of Rhamondre Stevenson. Thank you. The primary reason why I like Rhamondre as much as I do, guys, by the way, primarily has to do with the game time decision nature of Damian Harris. The likelihood of Damian Harris being active is probably relatively low considering he's missed the last 3 consecutive weeks. If, in fact, we're in a conversation here where he even is active, it's probably very limited utilization. Rhamondre has all that receiving upside on top of it, which pretty much can't be touched by any other running back in this backfield, even if they are active. Thank you. All right, moving on. We had John. John sends in a question. Says full PPR pick 3, 2 running backs in a singular flex out of Walker, Swift, Mostert, Juju, Judy, White, Fournette. Okay, so of your available options, 2 running backs, Mostert number 1, Walker number 2. As for who we're playing in the flex out of those potential options, I'll play Juju Smith-Schuster. So again, it's Mostert, Walker, and Juju. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Fanal Fabulas says, facing Mahomes/Kelsey plus Henry. All right, well, hey, listen, guys. Not all of us are meant to win our fantasy championships. In this case, Fanal, I don't know how you're going to win against that combo, but best of luck, my good sir. You said you lost Hurts. You're rolling with Dak. Okay, at least you have a good combination there, or at least a replacement. I played Garrett Wilson. I need big tight end upside. Do I play Muth, Knox, or Hill in a full PPR? In a full PPR, for ultimate upside, I probably lean towards Knox and hope he does what he's done in the last 2 weeks for another consecutive week. Yeah, I do prefer Knox out of the group there. Best of luck, my man. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Let's see here. DK Mitchell. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It says, full PPR, wide receivers, sit 1 out of these potential options. Diggs, AJ Brown, Judy, Slayton. I would sit Slayton there. Thank you. Follow-up question, pick 2 for the flex. Christian Watson, Singletary, Slayton. At that point, I'm playing Christian Watson, and it's full PPR, right? I'm probably in that position playing. Yeah, I'll play Slayton along. I'll probably bench Singletary there. So yeah, it would be Christian Watson and Slayton there in the flex. As for your defense, Bills or Buccaneers, I'll play the Bills there. Thank you. Teddy H says, I need a wide receiver in a flex. We have Devonta Smith, Mike Evans, Kenneth Walker, Deontay Johnson, and Devin Singletary. Wide receiver in a flex. Okay, so Kenneth Walker is your flex. And the wide receiver out of this group that I probably feel the highest affinity of playing at this position is most likely going to be someone like Mike Evans, to be honest. Yeah, it's going to be Mike Evans. They play in Arizona. It's in a dome stadium. You don't got to worry about any sort of weather concerns there. The guy's got himself 9+ targets each of the last 3 weeks. I think something's got to give with him. It's hopefully going to happen this week, considering all the secondary injuries that we've witnessed from the Arizona Cardinals there. So I'll take Evans and Walker there. As for your follow-up, also, do you like Marquise Goodwin over Chark and Dotson this week? Yes, I do. Again, rankings on screen kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea. I have Marquise Goodwin at 26, followed by Chark and Slayton there at 28, 29. So at the current situation, based on everything, no Lockett, a higher likelihood of them having to throw for majority of the game. Like I mentioned earlier this week in specific, in the games in which Marquise Goodwin this season has already had himself, 4+ catches. What's the stat? Let me go find my my notes from earlier in the week. Let's see. What was the stat in specific? Okay. This season, he has 3 games of 4+ receptions. Those games consist of 17.8, 20.7, and 5.3. He's got boom and bust range. Hopefully, because of now there's no Lockett in the lineup in comparison to those 3 games where Lockett did exist, there's probably a little bit more upside of him getting a 10+ point kind of week, and that's why we've kind of leaned in the direction of course, trying to start him in a lot of these scenarios. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. We move on, and we find ourselves answering Benjamin Todd's question. Benjamin, what's up? It says pick 2. We have Slayton, Moss, or Cooks. If I'm picking 2 of those potential 3 options, assuming it's a half PPR scoring format, I'd probably lean towards playing Slayton and Moss. I like Brandon Cooks to an extent. Him and Davis Mills have been great as a combination over the course of the last 2 years. I just think first week back, it's probably just safer to play Slayton with Mostert. Thank you. Steven Maxwell says, Terry McLaurin or Jerry Jeudy? I'll take Jerry Jeudy there. With Sutton back today, probably getting majority of the coverage from Jalen Ramsey. Jerry Jeudy should be poised for a pretty big game here. Follow up, standard scoring. Opponent has Russell Wilson. Does that make any difference? Doesn't really make a difference. I still like Jeudy over Terry McLaurin there in that scenario. Thank you. That kid, Nick 2018, says, do I really sit Cooper for a good win this week? Listen, you don't have to. That's the beauty of fantasy football, right? You make your final decision. If you would like to play Cooper, by all means do it. I might be completely wrong. Maybe that game with 30-mile-per-hour winds does not bother Deshaun Watson. Maybe it does, right? And I'm not even saying that like in a way just to be like confrontational. Like I'm purely just like, hey, these are the facts that I have. I've heard reporters specifically say from boots on the ground in Cleveland as an ESPN writer for the Cleveland Browns that he has a tough time believing that they're going to be able to throw the ball in that game. With all that taken into account, on top of what has kind of been building over there in Cleveland over the course of the week, it is tough for me to want to play that guy, specifically Amari Cooper, DPJ, etc. So I'm playing Goodwin there. If you'd like to go elsewhere, by all means, go for it, and let's hope for the best. Fingers crossed. Appreciate it. Gets Knowledge says Rodgers or Daniel Jones. I'll take Daniel Jones there. Thank you very much. Russell says full PPR, 1 running back, 2 flex options. We have Elliott, we have Fournette, we have Jeudy, we have Evans. Okay, so of the 4 options there, Elliott has to start at running back. And then if we're starting 2 other options in this group, I'm probably playing Fournette with Jeudy as your flex options there this week. Thank you. Pick a defense, Eagles or Broncos. I'll take the Broncos against the Rams. Thank you. Paul sends in a question. Paul Beauchamp says, Hopkins or McKinnon in the flex? I will play Jerick McKinnon in the flex this week. Thank you. In a half PPR. As for your follow-up, you currently have Stevenson and Connor at running back, Jefferson and Higgins at wide receiver. Yep, you're fine there. I'll play Jerick McKinnon. Thank you. KZR Golf says, okay, where the heck did KZR's question go? Why did it just break my... Okay, there it is. KZR Golf says, give Diggs, Godwin, Swift for Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Rhamondre, and Pittman. I don't understand this. Are we trading? Wait a minute, you can still trade? Giving Diggs, Godwin, and Swift for Amon-Ra, Mondre, and Pittman? No. Keep what you have. And there's a Week 18 championship. I don't even know who plays in Week 18. So at this point, I'd probably just keep what you have. Unless you're in like super desperate need for Rhamondre Stevenson to be in your lineup, which I don't think you need because you have Ekeler and ETN. I think you just keep what you have. Thank you. Kate Gonzaga 2014 says, Purdy or Minshew? I lost Hurts. I'm going to play Minshew there. I truly believe that Minshew mania is real, and I think he'll be able to demonstrate that once again today, especially with the team that surrounds him. I think it's a pretty solid spot. If you guys don't remember, a couple years ago, back in 2017, a Philadelphia Eagles quarterback that was on an MVP run went down with an injury. Another man that was known as a traveling veteran at sorts stepped up, played in his stead. His name was Nick Foles, and he led that team to a championship. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying the mirrored kind of potential here is there. No, but in all honesty, I do like Gardner Minshew. In terms of 9 out of the last 11 games that he has started, he has thrown for 2 or more touchdowns. He's been a solid quarterback in the league, and I think he's probably a top 3 backup amongst all in the quarterback position. Thank you. We move on to Joshua Wilkins. Says, Merry Christmas. Flex 1.5 PPR. Joe Mixon, Mark Andrews. I'll probably just play Joe Mixon there. I think it's tough to play Mark Andrews in that capacity. As for your follow-up, benched Andrews for Ingram. Yeah, you're good to go there then. Also, switch out Folk for McLaughlin. Yeah, if you're trying to avoid the conditions, which I'm primarily trying to do at some times in terms of this position, yeah, I would be willing to pivot Folk into McLaughlin just to avoid it because I know that the Colts are playing at home and there's not any sort of conditions there that could potentially impact the game. Thank you. Dallas Henderson says, pick 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers in a singular flex. We have Dalvin, James Conner, we have Kamara, we have Chase, we have DK, we have Chris Godwin and D-Hop in a full PPR scoring format, and keep up the content. Thank you very much, Dallas. I appreciate that. Okay, so of your available options here, the 2 running backs that I would suggest is playing Dalvin Cook and Alvin Kamara. The 2 wide receivers I would suggest are playing Jamar Chase and DK Metcalf. And if I'm starting one player in the flex, considering the full PPR format of this game, I'm probably playing Chris Godwin there. So again, that's Dalvin, Kamara, Chase, DK, and Godwin. Thank you. Paris Lark says, half PPR, I need one. Purdy, Minshew, and Jones. Again, guys, rankings are on screen. As of right now, up to date. So technically, I will play Daniel Jones over Minshew and Purdy. Again, the rankings to the right side of the screen should be able to answer those interpositional questions. So again, be sure to check those out. Again, if you guys are on mobile and perhaps are not at home, considering, again, it's the holidays, there are rankings in the description of the video. You can travel down there, and you can just scroll through it. I have top 16 quarterbacks, 36 running backs, wide receivers, and top 16 tight ends in that exact order, top to bottom, with number rankings next to them. Again, that's if you're not on a desktop or can't see the rankings because perhaps they're too small of something that extent. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Outside of that, while you're down in the description, do me a solid, click that like button. Really does continue to support the channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so moving on, we had a question from Jordan McQueen. Says Dulcich or Njoku. Again, like I mentioned, guys, and I'm going to hear it a lot today in terms of Cleveland Browns questions. The weather does not serve well for the passing game. 30-plus mile-per-hour winds. The field is iced over. It looks like it's probably going to be a scenario here where it's impossible to start those receiving options and hope for ultimate upside and even baseline production. Therefore, I'm leaning towards Greg Dulcich, even though he hasn't played well. The last time he was with Russell Wilson, he at least got himself a pretty high target count, 8 targets, 6 catches, pretty good yardage. Hopefully, we'll be able to build upon that going forward. Someone in the chat, Kudos, was asking in the chat, where's Foreman? Foreman is unfortunately playing against the Detroit Lions today. If you haven't heard, the Detroit Lions are the best run-stopping defense in the league, and quite literally have stopped everyone in their tracks. I think the stat was, and I was mentioning this yesterday on our live stream, the impromptu live stream. Let me just go ahead and give you guys, for those of you who have Foreman in your lineup, I think this should be the call to action to probably get him out of the lineup before kickoff. Let's just kind of give you guys some perspective on the matter. Detroit Lions versus running backs over the course of the last couple weeks here, shall we? They've given up only 23 yards on the ground to Zonovan Knight, 23 to Dalvin Cook, 54 to ETN, 22 to Barkley, 37 to Montgomery, 25 to Aaron Jones. So technically, based on all the production there, the best week we have seen over the course of the last 2 months has been Devin Singletary against them, 72 rushing yards. And that really wasn't a matchup that really served Detroit best. I think it's really tough to especially run the ball in a negative game script for Carolina, on top of the fact that they take on this incredible run-stopping defense. So probably avoiding Mr. Deontay Foreman at all costs. And probably in the same position, I could be a little bit more inclined to play Chuba Hubbard because he has more receiving potential, but it is tough to trust Foreman in specific because of what kind of specific statistics he needs to benefit and be relevant in fantasy. Thank you. Stu Blandford says, is Rhamondre playing? Yes, he is playing. He's good to go. He was questionable all week. He should be fine. If anything, the only question that we were having up to today was whether or not Kenneth Walker was going to play, because the guy didn't practice all week. But no, Rhamondre is going to play. No problem there. As for your follow-up question, Michael Pittman Jr. or Mike Evans, I'll take Mike Evans there. Thank you. Paris Lark says, thanks for helping out. Schultz or Taysom Hill? I'll take Schultz there, assuming it's a half PPR or a full PPR. In a standard scoring format, I'll take Taysom Hill. Thank you. Eric Bracker, says, James Conner or Juju Smith in the flex? Assuming it's a half PPR, I'll take James Conner there. Also, do you think Kirk Cousins is safer than Fields? Do I think he's safer? Technically, yes. But I don't know if the safety of... Let's think about this, right? Even if Justin Fields is to turn over the ball twice, like fumble once and throw an interception, right? -4 points. The rushing potential that he has built in already, on top of the passing yardage, he's probably going to have something near like 140. If he passes for a touchdown, probably gets himself, 6, 7, 11, and then his rushing potential is like at least 70 plus. It is going to be difficult for a lot of players, especially if Justin Fields start to really cook in garbage time, to keep up with him. But technically, Kirk Cousins is safer because I think Kirk Cousins is probably going to get himself 250 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and be done, right? That's kind of the baseline there. Appreciate it. But yeah, if it's me, I'm playing Fields. Appreciate it. All right, let me see here. What is this update that we just saw? Okay, we're good to go there. Marshawn Lattimore is not playing today. Not a surprise. Ed Oliver is good to go. Okay, nothing big deal. All right, moving on. We had Jake Olson says, Waddle, Hopkins, DJ Moore, Juju, Pick 2.5 PPR scoring format, leading towards Waddle and one more. Happy holidays. Thank you very much. All right, so of the available options you have in a half PPR scoring format, again, like it says on screen, I'm going with Jalen Waddle and I'm going with Juju Smith-Schuster. Again, Juju in the last 3 games that he has played, 80 or more % of the offensive snaps, the guy has been an absolute machine of catching the ball 9, 10, and 10 times. So it is very difficult for me to pivot away from him. Even though I really like DJ Moore this week, Juju takes the cake in that scenario. So him and Waddle are the play. Marvin Lewis, what's up? Says, good morning and happy holidays. Thank you very much. Says, so who puts me into the championships? Dak or Brady in a standard format? I think they both could very easily accomplish that. I'd rather play with Dak. I think Dak certainly has a little bit more upside in the circumstance here. I think Brady could probably, look, considering Dak Prescott hands the ball off as much as he does, and we see so many touchdowns from guys like Pollard and Zeke, I still believe that the playmakers that surround Dak in specific help him out far more than what Brady's got to deal with. With his left tackle out today, maybe a little bit difficult. So I'll just go ahead and I'll play Dak there. Thank you. Seymour Cars says, full PPR. I need one running back. Okay, so we need one for the running back slot. We have Fournette, we have White, we have Foreman, we have Singletary, we have Moss. Of the available, I will play Leonard Fournette. Follow-up question. Would you start any of these guys over Mike Williams in the flex in a full PPR? No. I would keep it as such. You're good to go with Foreman and Mike Williams. Appreciate it. Stallions Production says, would you start Dobbins and Walker? Sorry, no, it just says, would you start Dobbins and Walker over what? You know what I mean? So I think you meant or instead of and. So let's say, for example, would you start Dobbins or Walker? I'd play Dobbins. Follow up, Zeke or Lamb? That's a good one. As for your follow-up to that one, Rodgers or Purdy? Currently, we have Rodgers one spot ahead of Purdy on rankings on screen. Let me figure out, where do I have in a half PPR Zeke in comparison to... Okay, so in my flex rankings on Patreon, currently, we have Zeke at 17 and I have CeeDee Lamb at 18. In a full PPR, CeeDee Lamb is the option, though. So half PPR at Zeke, standard at Zeke, full PPR at CeeDee Lamb. So hopefully, depending on where your rankings kind of subside, that's the suggestion. I appreciate it, Stallions. MPP 808 says, Dak or Brady and Christian Watson or Michael Pittman. I'll take Dak and I will take Christian Watson. Thank you. Flow Easy says, happy holidays, Andrew. Pick 2 running backs in a flex potential option. We have Barkley, Sanders, Mostert, James Cook, White, Murray. Okay, of the available options, I will play Barkley, Mostert, and Sanders. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you. Manolo, what's up? Says, in a PPR, I need you to pick 2. We have Hollywood, Deion Jackson, Richie James Jr. Of the 3 options, I'm probably leaning towards Richie James Jr. and Deion Jackson there. Thank you. J Holly 203 says, sit 2, Mixon, Pollard, Najee Harris, Dobbins, Christian Watson, full PPR. Oh, man. Okay, in a full PPR, if I'm sitting 2 of these options, it's most likely... Wow. I think... this is what I'll say. I'll tell you who to start. I don't know if I want to tell you to objectively sit these guys, but the guys that I would probably be starting based on my rankings, I'm starting Pollard, I'm starting Najee, and I'm probably starting Christian Watson there. So those are the 3 that I'd like to play. Jay Holly, thank you. Emmanuel sends in a question, says, starting A.J. Dillon over J.K. Dobbins due to the receiving upside and the red zone carries. Also, Dolphins/Packers, one of the highest point totals of the week. Thoughts? I don't mind it. I think there's a potential in which A.J. Dillon continues his streak of the last 3 weeks of just scoring touchdowns and being a monster. The only concern that I have with his potential is the fact that Miami's actually a really good run-stopping defense in comparison to what Atlanta provides. Atlanta has been torched by a bunch of running backs over the course of the last couple months here, and it has been a sore point for their defense in comparison to their secondary playing far better over the course of the last month here. So in my mind, I do prefer J.K. Dobbins. I still think he has touchdown upside, especially with the idea that there's no Lamar to kind of yoink that away from him. I'm sure Tyler Huntley will be more than happy to hand that off, considering he's dealing with a couple injuries there. So again, I don't mind the A.J. Dillon play. I just think there's a little bit more safety in J.K. Dobbins. Thank you. Dylan sends in a question. Says PPR, 1, DPJ or Russell Gage. Okay. Between the 2, I don't really like either, but I'll probably play Russell Gage there, even with Julio active. And then if we're following up with Dallas Cowboys defense or Cleveland, I'll play the Cleveland defense there. Thank you. Joey Ford says, Greg Dulcich or Kate Otten? I'll take Greg Dulcich out of the 2. Thank you. Let's see here. We had a question that kind of rolled in from EJ. EJ, I don't even know if your question is going to be in the chat. It is. EJ Rodriguez says, 2 different leagues, PPR format. Herbert is my quarterback. I already have Keenan Allen. Do I start Michael Pittman or Mike Williams? Okay, between the two, man, it is tough considering I don't love Mike Williams' matchup. I really don't. But the crazy thing is, I don't like Michael Pittman's even more, to the extent to where the quarterback switch, all that kind of jazz, makes it a little bit of a turnoff in comparison. So we'll probably just play Michael Williams there. As for your second question, in a standard scoring format, do you start Pacheco or Juju? In a standard format, I'd play Pacheco. Thank you. Off the top says Tyreek Hill or Dawson. No, that's Taysom Hill. When I saw T Hill, I was like, wait a minute. Tyreek Hill or Dawson Knox. No, in a full PPR between Taysom Hill and Dawson Knox, I'll play Knox. Thank you. Paul says, hey, Andrew, in a full PPR, do you think I can trust Judy over Ayuk? I think you can, for sure. Even if Sutton plays. Yeah, I think you need Sutton to play. If Sutton doesn't play and Judy's pulling primarily all of Ramsey's coverage, it could be a nightmare. So I think we need Sutton to play in order to kind of mitigate some of that pressure. So yeah, I will play Judy there for sure. Thank you. Wet Bandit says Andrews or Goddard. I will play Andrews there. Going up against Atlanta, one of the better matchups of the week. My other flex option, okay, and then follow up. Other flex option would be Pacheco if I sit one of those options. I understand. Okay, yeah, I would be willing to play Pacheco over Goddard and play Andrews there. Merry Christmas as well. Thank you. All right, Mario Torres. Let's see here, Mario. Where are we at? Mario Torres says, how delayed is this? It's pretty delayed, my man. There's a lot of questions. Trying my best to get to there. Mario Torres says, Higgins or Juju or Lamb in a full PPR. I'm playing Lamb out of the 3. Do the Cowboys get a lead and pass less? No. I think it's going to be a competitive matchup between two teams. I really do think so. If Jalen Hurts was active, I think, of course, the Eagles win. But because it's going to be Gardner, it'll be close enough to where they're throwing for majority of that game. Or at least continuously kind of keeping that momentum on their side. Appreciate it. All right, let me go ahead. Let me scroll back up here because I know there was a question that was sent. Let me make sure here. Who was it earlier that... I think it was Bradley, right? Bradley Harris? Okay, here it is. Bradley Harris says, Andrew, thinking of going Hill over Andrews. Thoughts? I went over this a little bit yesterday. In a half or full PPR scoring format, I can't do it. My thought process is, let's say, for example, they give Taysom Hill 12 rushing attempts today. He gets 70 rushing yards out of it. If he doesn't score a touchdown, he doesn't get any passing work, or at least relevant passing work to where the yardage and or the touchdown makes the week for him, or if he doesn't catch a touchdown, really he's going to be just a standard player, which makes it difficult because he's not going to catch the ball out of the backfield. He's not going to have that potential upside in comparison to some of these other options. I think Mark Andrews takes the cake there between him and Taysom Hill. And quite frankly, I think a lot of the other tight ends kind of have a little bit of a slight advantage over him because of that receiving upside that they have. Because the yardage could be similar, the reception count makes the big difference. Because I think all these players have relatively high, touchdown upside, especially down in the red zone. All right, moving on. We have Frank Grillo sends in a question, says Dak or Herbert. Between the two, I'm probably playing Herbert there. As for the follow-up, also Swift or Latavius, I'll take Latavius there. Did we take care of Mario Torres? I just want to make sure that was... Yeah, okay, we took care of Mario Torres. Awesome. Okay, moving on. Play-by-play says, my opponent has Herbert, Ekeler, and Everett. Would it make sense to start Cameron Dicker, or should I pivot to Geno, McLaughlin, or Jason Myers? I mean, I guess it could make sense, but I really don't think it's worth it. I'd rather just play one of these other kicking options. Specifically, if I had the option, I would like to play Graham Gano out of the bunch. In Minnesota, indoors, great kicking option. In a matchup where they'll probably be able to move the ball, but maybe not score as much. Therefore, a lot of kicks going up. Thank you. Luke Rossi says, need the best potential boom play. Non-PPR, Kamara or Stevenson. Potential boom between the two of them. I think it's probably Stevenson. Thank you. Bradley Harris says, okay, so we took care of Bradley Harris. We're good to go. Jeff Carpenter says, I saw no Cleveland wide receivers. Do I flex Murray or Latavius Murray or Adam Thielen? Between the two of them in a full PPR, let's see where I have them ranked. If I go to full PPR, not F3. I need to control F the spreadsheet. Thielen, So I have Adam Thielen at 55 in comparison to, where is Latavius? Latavius is at 47. So I'll take Latavius Murray there this week. Thank you. Moving on, enemies within. It says full PPR Gibson with return yards or Judy. I need upside. I'm actually curious. What does Antonio Gibson's return yards look like? If you're getting like 1 point per 10 yards on the return game, let's see here. What do they look like in comparison? Technically, return yardage, man, his return yards are nuts in some of these weeks. Last week was 93. The week prior, 27, 51, 48. So if we get into a scenario where he probably, let's say, for example, he finishes the day with 50 regular yards, 50 yards through the, no, I'm still playing Jerry Jeudy there. He would have to have a monster game of either getting a bunch of receptions or scoring a touchdown for him to be in a contentious conversation with Jerry Jeudy in the current circumstance. So yeah, I'll play Jerry there. Appreciate it. Abby Bronner says, pick one. Foles, Dalton Schultz, Mac Jones. Thank you. Of the three available options, I will play Nick Foles. Thank you. Travis Molina, let's hear it, Travis. Where are we at? Travis, I don't see a question in the chat. It's probably updated. Again, for those of you guys who are asking questions specifically, again, reminder, updated rankings on screen. Hopefully they'll help you guys out. It's for a half PPR scoring format. The rankings on screen will give you an idea as to where I'm going. We'll mention kicker and defensive rankings in about 7 minutes. So yeah, Travis, I do appreciate you sending that in. Do me a solid in the next, 15 to 30 seconds. If you could type your question in, I'm going to look at the chat and keep an eye on that just so we can get to your question. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so after Travis, we had a question. Again, guys, if you've sent in a super chat, I greatly appreciate it. There is a little bit of a delay here, mainly because there are so many and I'm trying to catch up, okay? Thank you, appreciate it. Berlin B, haven't seen you in a while. What's up, man? How you doing well? It says flex 1, Marquise Goodwin, Taysom Hill, and Y. Standard format. In the standard scoring format, man, it's kind of the same conversation that I just had with Taysom, right? If Taysom Hill doesn't find the end zone, it is impossible for me to suggest him over another receiving option that I think is just as capable of garnering the same amount of yardage. Does he have more touchdown upside technically than Marquise Goodwin? I can't objectively say that's the truth, especially considering there is the existence of some of these other options within that offense, specifically Alvin Kamara. So I'm comfortable with Taysom Hill with the idea that he can get himself 60, 70 rushing yards. But outside of that, I think it's probably Marquise Goodwin that takes the cake there in my mind, with no Tyler Lockett, primarily going up against this number 2 and number 3 corners of the very inexperienced Kansas City secondary. I think it's pretty advantageous for him. Travis, where you at, my man? I'm waiting for the question. Romeo Connor says, do I play the Browns defense versus Houston? Well, okay, the Browns don't play at Houston. So you mean the Browns defense versus the Saints, and then Tennessee versus Houston. Got it. Okay. Between the two, I currently have, and we'll mention kicker and defensive rankings right now, might as well, while we're waiting for Travis sending that question. Okay. Top 12 defensive rankings. Number 1, San Francisco 49ers. Number 2, Buffalo Bills. Number 3, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 4, Denver Broncos. Number 5, Baltimore Ravens. Number 6, Tennessee Titans. Number 7, Cleveland Browns. Number 8, Cincinnati Bengals. Number 9, Dallas Cowboys. Number 10, New Orleans Saints. Number 11, Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 12, Los Angeles Rams. So in your circumstance, I would play the Tennessee Titans defense. Let's talk about top 12 kickers. Maher, McPherson, Carlson, Tucker, Gano, Badgley, McLaughlin, Pinheiro, Folk, Myers, Sanders, Butker. Thank you. Appreciate it. Where art thou, Travis? Have you disappeared? I think Travis is gone. All right, Travis. I do appreciate it, man, but we best be moving on. I'll come back looking for your question if we can later on. Thank you. Matt Troncali says, Foreman, Juwan Johnson, DeMarcus Robinson, tight end premium league. I probably, in a full PPR, would have to play DeMarcus Robinson there. Thank you. I would love to be able to tell you to start Juwan Johnson. I just don't think it's the best conditions for it. All right, so somebody in the chat was saying, tough decision here, Brian Robinson or Foreman in a standard. Yeah, you can't play Foreman. Brian Robinson is my suggestion there, shockers. We move on. We find EJ Rodriguez. Where art thou, EJ? All right, EJ. I don't see a question from you either. There wasn't anything attached. If you could type in the chat, we greatly appreciate it. We follow up by moving on to White Sneakers. White Sneakers says, pick 2 running backs. We have Moss from the Colts. Sorry, pick 2, just in general. It's not even running backs. Okay. Moss from the Colts. We have Goddard. We have Rashad White. We have James Cook along with KJ Osborne. Of the available options, assuming it's a half PPR, considering there's no scoring format mentioned here in specific, I'm playing Moss alongside of Rashad White there as the 2 options. Thank you. Eli says, Mike Williams or J.K. Dobbins full PPR. Merry Christmas, brother. Thank you. I'm playing J.K. Dobbins there. Appreciate it. Abby Bronner says, pick 4. We have Jones, we have Dillon, we have Ekeler, we have Dobbins, we have Akers. Okay, of those options, I'm playing Ekeler number 1, Jones 2, Dobbins 3, Dillon 4. Bench Akers. Moving on, we talk about pick 1 between Everett or Waller. I'll play Waller, even with Derek Carr being a little bit sketchy in the weather. Appreciate it. We move on. We had a question that came in from Mario Torres. Mario says, Higgins or Juju in a full PPR? I'd rather have Juju. Thank you. Also, do the Cowboys get a lead and pass less? Probably not. I don't know if the lead is going to be a guarantee there. I truly do believe that Minshew is a good enough quarterback to function this offense to a capacity to where it's a competitive game. Dilo sends in a question, says, Merry Christmas, Eve. Kicker and defensive rankings. We just took care of that. We're good to go. I appreciate you, Dilo. Moving on, we had Andrew Meng says, play 2. Chubb, Dobbins, Fournette. I'll play Chubb and Dobbins out of the group. Follow up. Would you play the one man out over Deontay Johnson? Yes, I would play Fournette over Deontay Johnson this week. I would. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, let me see if EJ sent in a question. EJ? No EJ. Okay, moving on. We find ourselves with a question coming in from Bilal. Thank you very much, Bilal. Says, hey, Andrew. Will you do defensive rankings video? I got the Chargers. How we looking? Yeah, the Chargers are okay. I don't love them. Again, I've mentioned the rankings probably multiple times. Probably, what was it like? Probably, I'd say 2 to 3 minutes ago. So hopefully you heard on to some of those rankings. In terms of the Chargers, I don't love them. I'd much rather pivot to something like Pittsburgh or New Orleans if they're available. Cleveland, I'm assuming, is available. The Rams, potentially. Stuff like that. Thank you. Moving on, Mike Simmons says, do you think Kareem Hunt will get decent work today? I think he'll be okay. My biggest concern with Kareem Hunt is they haven't given him enough opportunity for me to be convinced that they're going to all of a sudden make him the top priority of this offense to the point to where we can trust him. So I thought about having him in my top 36 rankings. I currently have him in a half PPR as RB. Let's figure this out. I have him as RB. Where is he? Yeah, I have him as RB 43. I don't really think Kareem Hunt's going to be much of an option and or priority even in this game. Thank you. I've moved him down. I mean, I pretty much have him where he typically is. He is not scoring touchdowns. He's not getting enough rushing opportunity. And even if he goes from 4 rushing attempts to 8, it doesn't make him a potential starting option in my mind. He has to score touchdowns to be relevant. Appreciate it. Brian Gonzalez says, McKinnon or Godwin in a flex full PPR? All right, great question. So considering I have it ranked as such, in a flex full PPR, I have Jerick McKinnon as my number 15 overall player and Godwin as my number 20. So I'm playing Jerick McKinnon there. Thank you. All righty, we move on. We find a question from Mike Simmons. Mike Simmons says, do you think... Okay, yeah, we already took care of that. Awesome. Brian Gonzalez, we took care of it. So yeah, Mike Simmons says, do you think Kareem Hunt will get decent work today? So we already took care of that. Probably not. Bodie Derby, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Says pick 2, Kenneth Walker, DeAndre Hopkins, Jerick McKinnon. Very Merry Christmas. So of the 3 options, assuming it's a half PPR scoring format, we're probably playing McKinnon with Walker. If it's a full PPR scoring format, we'd play Hopkins with McKinnon. Thank you. Beast mode. There's nothing attached to your super chat. So let me see if I can find your message in the chat. There's nothing. So you're going to have to type beast mode. So let me make a continual rolling list here of people who have sent stuff in but haven't attached a message. So we had Travis, we had EJ, and now we have beast mode. Don't want to forget y'all. Okay, so if you guys can do me a solid, type that in. Thank you. TJ's packing. Okay, here we go. Now it's TJ. Is TJ gonna have something in the chat here? Hopefully. TJ, he did. Marquise Goodwin or Kittle? I'll take Kittle there. At that point, I'm willing to just roll with the Kittle play. Thank you. Stallions Production says Minshew or Brady. I'll take Brady. Montgomery or Walker. I'll take Walker. Thank you. Bob France Fishing says, do I play J.K. Dobbins or Christian Watson in a full PPR? Oh, man. Oh, man. It is relatively close. So, in a full PPR scoring format, I currently have J.K. Dobbins ranked as 37, Christian Watson's 36. I knew it was going to be that close. So, yeah, we'll take Christian Watson there. One spot ahead of him, quite literally, in my full PPR flex rankings. Appreciate it. Chris Moraga says, half PPR, Deontay Johnson in bad potential weather, Jamal Williams, Zach Moss, Gabe Davis, Minshew. Okay, yeah. So first and foremost, let's establish that those potential options in a half PPR scoring format, I would feel most comfortable, most likely playing Zach Moss out of the group. The following question: Minshew Mania or Geno Smith? I would rather play Geno Smith there. I don't think the weather is as bad there. I know it's going to be certainly cold, but it's not as significantly as impactful as some of these other games that are certainly going to make a difference. Appreciate it. We move on to not Steve Rogers. It says Deontay Johnson or Deontay Foreman. Give me Deontay Johnson there in comparison. Brett Wood would say full PPR, Connor or Slayton. I'll take Connor. Thank you. Jimmy K sends in a question, says Jamal Williams or Darren Waller in a half PPR. I'll take Darren Waller. Yeah, you know what? I would take Darren Waller there. I think he probably has a little bit of a safer floor and potential upside. Thank you. Okay, guys, reminder, for those of you guys who are just joining us, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Happy holidays. Again, the rankings on screen should hopefully answer your questions. If you guys are on mobile, there's rankings in the chat or in the description of the video. Be sure to click the like button. I'm trying to answer as many questions as I possibly can. Of course, we're trying to catch up on some of the super chats that were sent in, which will probably bog me down for majority of today. If I see a question or something that I need to address in the chat, of course, I'm quick to do it. We've answered a couple questions in regards to kicker and defensive rankings. We're only about an hour in. We're going to once again mention that as we progress throughout today's live stream. But again, the rankings on screen should give you a little bit of an idea as to where we're going. Again, to reiterate, Taysom Hill, I trust him, but again, unless it's in a standard format against some of these other tight ends, it is difficult to objectively play him as such. He certainly has upside, but it's probably not as defined as some of these other players. Either way, I'm also avoiding a lot of the receiving options in that game between the Saints and, of course, Browns, not by accident. Okay. Moving on. Let me see here. Did Travis Molina send in a question? I did not. Nope, nothing from Travis. So Travis is gone. All right. Let's see EJ. EJ, did you bring in anything else? Nope, no other questions from EJ. Okay, EJ's gone. Then we move on to Beast Mode. Beast Mode is gone. All right. Well, it is what it is. I've given it its time. We'll come back probably later on and try to figure that out. Moving on, we had a question from Daniel Keenan. Daniel Keenan says, Kamara or McKinnon? As of right now, if these are both, okay, let's say, for example, it's a half PPR question. I would rather play Kamara. If it's a full PPR question, I'd rather play McKinnon. Follow-up, Chark, Chris Moore, or Richie James, all in full PPR. Okay, it's all full PPR. So technically, I'm playing McKinnon over Kamara, and I'm playing Chark over Richie James and Chris Moore. Thank you. Let's see here. We had C. Nathan says, will the Miami rain affect Watson? I am not 100% certain that it's actually going to rain tomorrow. Let's confirm this, shall we? We're looking at the weather report for tomorrow's game. We have it as such. Possible light rain. Let me look at the full details of this. 4% chance of rain. It'll be fine. So I'm not too worried about it, to answer your question. Thank you. So the follow-up there is, should I flex Mike Williams or Swift over Watson? No, I would play Watson there tomorrow. Thank you. Joey Kolura says, Pacheco, Montgomery, or Fournette, RB2 full, sorry. Yeah, as my RB2 in a full PPR scoring format. In a full PPR, let me see. Do I have Fournette over or Montgomery over Pacheco? Full PPR, I have... No, I don't have either of them over Pacheco. I'm playing Pacheco there against Seattle. Thank you. All right, moving on. We had to the max. It says full PPR. I need 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and a flex. We have Godwin, we have Higgins, we have Waddle, we have Keenan Allen. Okay, so if I'm picking 2 wide receivers out of those 4, I'm playing Godwin and Keenan Allen. As for your running back options, you have Najee Harris, McKinnon, and Latavius Murray. I mean, goodness gracious, if I'm playing one of those guys in a full PPR in my flex, it's Jerick McKinnon. Follow up to that is who am I playing at tight end? Schultz or Andrews? I'm playing Andrews. So again, it's Godwin, Keenan Allen, McKinnon, and Andrews. Thank you. Abby Bronner, thank you very much. It's very generous of you. Says, thank you for all the help. Girls play fantasy football too. Of course they do. Why not? Pick one, Brady or Allen. So of the available options, I mean, again, if we're talking about Brady or Josh Allen, yeah, Josh Allen's got to be the play there. Even with the weather, and I understand that's probably what your main priority of concern is. We've seen Josh Allen in Buffalo over the last couple of years consistently play well in the rain and in those, terrible conditions. I know that Chicago is going to be a little bit of a windy city today, but I'm perfectly fine playing Allen there. Especially, if anything, he's going to have more rushing upside. The guy's coming off a week last week where he had 77 rushing yards. If he's able to do anything close to that, he's in a pretty good spot. Travis, you're here. Great. Travis, what's your question, my man? What's your question? Type it in the chat. So as to the follow-up there, Abby, besides playing Josh Allen, you have a question between, okay, so you have a lot of stud wide receivers. Best 3 wide receivers out of the potential following. We have Hopkins, JJ, St. Brown, and DK. I'm going to play Justin Jefferson, St. Brown, and DK. Boom, boom, 1, 2, 3. I'm sitting Hopkins there because of Trace McSorley, of course. Pick 2 out of the potential options at running back. We have Tony, Pollard, Zeke. We have Stevenson. We have Kamara. Thank you. Ooh, okay. If we're playing 2 options out of those 4 running backs, it's probably Rhamondre and Tony Pollard that get the 1 and 2 start. I don't like splitting up Zeke and Tony Pollard because I like to typically just combine them and get as many points as I can out of the bunch, but I probably just lean towards Rhamondre and Pollard there. Thank you. Appreciate it, Abby. Dylan says, full PPR, Tutu Atwell or Russell Gage. Give me Tutu Atwell there. Thank you. Ed Exec says, full PPR, Goodwin, Dylan, Dotson, flex. In a full PPR scoring format, it's probably, I'm probably going to play Marquise Goodwin there. I'd like to play Dylan, but it's a little bit less of a consistent option there. I mean, at least as of late, he's been consistent, but I'm just thinking to myself, specifically against that run-stopping defense in Miami, it's going to be tough. So I'll play Marquise Goodwin there today. Okay, Travis, your question. 2 QB league, pick 1. Tua, Fields, and Josh Allen. Wait. 2 QB league, pick 1. Tua, Fields, and Josh Allen. So I'm assuming you mean sit 1, right? Championship is this week. Happy holidays. So if I'm starting 2 of these quarterbacks, I mean, I'm pretty much starting Josh Allen and Justin Fields. I don't think I'm playing Tua there. I like Tua's potential in terms of upside. I just think that these other guys, in the terms of their running potential, just kind of, it really makes them better options within the given week. Thank you. Appreciate it, Travis. Okay, moving on. Crypto Zoe 9 says, or Zoe, whichever one you want to make it as. Start 2, DJ Moore, Miles Sanders, J.K. Dobbins. Of those 3 options, I will most likely, if it was a full PPR, I could lean in the direction of probably playing. Let me think about this. Yeah, I'm going to probably play Miles Sanders and J.K. Dobbins there. I'll probably bench DJ Moore. If it was a full PPR, I'd play DJ Moore over Miles Sanders, but it's not. Thank you. Shane Howard says, full PPR flex, Nick Chubb or Christian Watson. I'll play Nick Chubb there this week. Follow up, Mark Andrews or George Kittle. I'll take Mark Andrews there. No, I won't. I will take George Kittle. Speaking of Mark Andrews, the reason why I said that accidentally, Ed Exec had sent in a question. The follow-up to your Goodwin and Dylan question was Andrews or Fant. Yeah, I'm playing Andrews over Fant. So going back, that's why Andrews was on my, Andrews was on the brain. Yes, I am playing Kittle over Andrews this week in specific. Also, what's going on with Chubb? Crying emoji. Why is he falling off the past few weeks? Mainly because the offense has overcompensated for the fact that they have Watson at quarterback. They think they can just allow Watson to throw it on the goal line instead of just handing it off to Chubb. The weather concerns will obviously lead them back to running the ball a little bit more. So they should be fine. Don't worry about it, Shane. Marvin Lewis says, I need a defense, Eagles, Chargers, Rams, or Pittsburgh. I currently have Pittsburgh and Rams ranked the highest in that order. So Pittsburgh's probably the play against Derek Carr today. Thank you. Ankur sends in a question, says, Akers, Algier, or Deion Jackson flex 1. If I'm flexing one of those potential 3 options, again, like the rankings present on screen, guys, Akers is right behind Algier. Algier is the highest ranked of the bunch. Thank you. Appreciate it. Moving on. Patrick Moore says, please dubiously speculate Taysom's volume today. I appreciate that. So if we're speculating his potential, right? And I was looking at this earlier today, earlier today as in 4 a.m. when I was up kind of working on some of these things. His highest rushing yard totals this year have been 112, which was against Seattle, 81 against Atlanta, 61 against Las Vegas, 52, 39, and 30, right? Those are his 6 highest potential rushing total games. The potential in which he is going to find himself in that upper echelon of that 60 to 100 range, it's certainly a potential possibility. I think 70 yards is a probably safe position off of 7. Now, he probably gets like 10 carries, assuming if the game is really getting out of hand in terms of the weather. He probably gets 10 carries, 70 yards. If he scores a touchdown, fantastic. He probably also catches the ball, maybe runs a fake punt, maybe throws a couple passes in terms of short dump offs, because they might run Wildcat the whole time. If they end up doing so, which we're technically not privy to because they're not giving us their playbook and their game plan, but I'm assuming probably 10 carries minimum, decent yardage. Again, the Cleveland Browns are the worst team in terms of stopping the run since week 10 in terms of yards per carry allowed, 6.04 since week 10 to opposing running backs. Appreciate it. SoFlo says, PPR format, who would you start, Fields or Burrow? I'll take Fields there. Pick 2 between Pollard, Kamara, McKinnon, and Montgomery. In a full PPR, I'm playing Pollard and McKinnon. Follow up. Oh, that's it. Thank you very much. Happy holidays to you as well, SoFlo. Intergalactic says, start Christian Watson or Latavius Murray. Happy holidays. Between the two, let me see what I have half PPR flex ranked. Okay, so flex rank half PPR. We have, where's Christian Watson? That's not the ranking. Let's pivot over there. Perfect. Okay, so Christian Watson's at 37, and we have Latavius Murray at 41. So Christian Watson takes the start there. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Where are we at? Where's Amari Cooper? He's on my bench this week. Again, like I've told many of you guys, and I will reiterate, the potential weather concerns in the great state of Cleveland are significant. 30+ mile per hour winds. It is tough, to say the very least. And by the way, I just watched a clip about 14. This was recorded 14 minutes ago. Kickers are trying to kick the ball, and the wind is so bad that they're not even able to get to the goalpost, unfortunately. So pretty tough, range of outcomes there. They're literally using leaf blowers in order to kind of designate the 10-yard lines on the field, just to kind of warm it up there. But yeah, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough to move the ball, specifically through the air, whether it's kicking and or passing game. Appreciate it. Okay, so moving on. We had a question from Terry R. Says, defense, Philadelphia, Cleveland, Tennessee, Cincinnati. Of the four that you mentioned, Tennessee's number 1, Cleveland 2, Cincinnati 3, Philadelphia 4. As for tight end, Fant or Njoku, I'm playing Fant. Thank you. Moving on. Big Mac says, half PPR. We need to pick a running back and a flex. We have Stevenson, Connor, K9, Chris Godwin, DeAndre Hopkins. Of the options available, I would play Connor and Stevenson. Thank you. Moving on, we also had a question. You lost Hurts. Do I play Njoku, Jones? Sorry, do I play Minshew, Jones, or Rodgers? I had Njoku on the brain because it was literally the prior question. Happy holidays. Thanks. So of the potential quarterbacks, again, rankings are on screen. I will play Daniel Jones there. Thank you. Bilal says, good morning, Andrew. Sorry, turned off my phone, missed the answer. But we need defensive rankings. Okay, sounds good. All right, defensive rankings. Here we go. Number 1, San Francisco 49ers. Number 2, Buffalo Bills. Number 3, Tampa Bay Bucks. Number 4, Denver Broncos. Number 5, Baltimore Ravens. Number 6, Tennessee Titans. Number 7, Cleveland Browns. Number 8, Cincinnati Bengals. Number 9, Dallas Cowboys. 10 is New Orleans Saints. 11, Pittsburgh Steelers. And 12 is the Los Angeles Rams. Moving on to kickers. Number 1, Brett Maher. Number 2, Evan McPherson. Number 3, Daniel Carlson. Number 4, Justin Tucker. Number 5, Graham Gano. 6 is Michael Badgley. 7 is Chase McLaughlin. 8 is Eddie Pinheiro. 9 is Nick Folk. 10, Jason Myers. 11, Jason Sanders. And 12 is Harrison Butker. Thank you, Bilal. Everybody can thank Bilal for reiterating that. We're good to go there. Those were my top 12 kicker and defensive rankings. Appreciate it. Moving on. We had Andy sending a question. Andy says, Dak Prescott over Purdy? Yes. I don't disagree with you. Just want to know why. The primary reason is because Purdy doesn't have as much upside. Purdy could very easily get himself 200 passing yards and 2 touchdowns and be a safe, that's 16 points. I think that's kind of where his upside also lies, specifically because of the difficulty of the Washington matchup. So I'm thinking to myself, if Purdy plays well today, he scores 16 points, and that's it. Like, he needs a rushing touchdown or some crazy play where he throws the ball to Kittle and he goes for 95 yards in order to make it an even better play on the given week. So we're probably in a position where, in terms of upside, and whoever has, of course, been far more reliant as a quarterback in terms of overall touchdowns, all that kind of jazz, it definitely is in the direction of someone like Dak Prescott. Someone's asking, where's Mixon? Mixon's at number 17, a running back. Moving on, we had Chris Vasquez says, in a half PPR, Mike Williams, Michael Pittman Jr., or DeAndre Swift, pick 2. Of the 3 options in a half PPR scoring format, I will play Mike Williams and I will play DeAndre Swift. Thank you. Kicks for Mike says, happy holidays, DeAndre Hopkins or J.K. Dobbins. In a PPR, I'll play DeAndre Hopkins. Thank you. Joey Ford says, starting the Texans defense because of Malik Willis. They scored 9 fantasy points last time. Other options are Vikings or Bears. I was going to suggest you play the Vikings, but yeah, I don't know, man. The issue that I have with playing against Malik Willis, I understand he played against the Titans last time. I mean, technically it could be okay. It's going to be tough. If it's me, I'm probably playing the Vikings there, to be totally honest. But I could be wrong. Moving on. I'm very uncertain about it. That's why I don't even have those defenses ranked. Like, I don't even want to deal with those kind of defenses because there's just too much volatility, too much potential for mishap. We had a question come in from Damien. Damien says, half PPR, flex, Godwin, Dobbs, Jeff Wilson. Okay, so of those 3, it's Godwin for sure. If it's Goodwin, it's still Goodwin. So Goodwin or Godwin, I don't care, whichever one. Also says playing Mostert, Algier, Zach Moss, Lost Hurts. Who would you ride? Minshew for 2 weeks or snag Love for next week? No, I'm not playing Jordan Love next week. If he does end up becoming the starter, I'd probably consider it, but I don't even know who they play next week. I'm so hyper-focused on today. Thank you. Anthony Jackson says, good morning, Andrew. Full PPR. Start Justin Fields or Justin Herbert. I'll take Fields there. Also, please pick between the potential running backs. We have Montgomery, Pacheco, Dobbins, White, Moss, and Herbert. If I'm picking 2 running backs out of the 6 available, I'm playing Pacheco and Dobbins. Thank you. We had a question that came in from Michael Hodgins. Correct, right? Maybe. Where did it go? Michael Hodgins says, help. Tough one for me. Start Justin Fields or Joe Burrow. Yeah, I'm playing Justin Fields there. Follow up Michael Gallup or Peoples-Jones. Oh, man. At that point, I probably just play Peoples-Jones. I don't really trust Michael Gallup. Or pick up Goodwin. I'd pick up Goodwin and play him in a full PPR. Thank you. That's my suggestion there, Michael. Phil sends in a question. Says, hello, Andrew. Merry Christmas Eve. Justin Jefferson, Lamb, A.J. Brown, Hopkins, Allen, Pittman. I need 2 wide receivers in a flex. Okay, Jefferson number 1, Lamb number 2, Allen number 3. 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom. Full PPR. Thank you. Terry R. says, kickers, McPherson, Gould, Dicker, McLaughlin, Myers. If I'm picking one out of the bunch, I'm playing Evan McPherson. Thank you. Spinal Samurai says, Dalton Schultz or Marquise Goodwin in a flex full PPR. I'll play Marquise Goodwin there. In a full PPR, it's probably safer. Touchdown upside is certainly there for Dalton Schultz. It's just kind of sketchy. So I probably just roll with Marquise Goodwin there. Austin Vincent says, can you please go through the full kicker rankings? Okay, we took care of that a little bit before. We'll go ahead and pull back to that if, in fact, we need to in a little bit. Valentine sends in a question. Thank you very much. Says, Merry Christmas, brother. Appreciate it. Says, full PPR, pick 2 running backs and a flex. Okay, we have Juju, Watson, Pittman, Mixon, Pacheco, White, and J.K. Dobbins. Okay, appreciate it. The insight. No problem. Thank you. So, 2 running backs of Mixon, Pacheco, and J.K. Dobbins. I'm leaning towards J.K. Dobbins and Mixon. That's the 1-2. As for who we play in the flex in a full PPR scoring format, am I playing Watson over Pacheco? I would be. So, yeah, it is going to be J.K. Dobbins, Mixon, and Watson today. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Valentine. Moving on to King O'Shawn. Says Pittman or Deontay? I would probably... I'm probably leaning towards Deontay Johnson, to be totally honest. I don't know if I could trust Nick Foles that much, so I'll play Deontay there. Mike says, full PPR. Should I stack with Purdy and Ayuk or Brady and Evans? Or no stack with Watson? Yeah, I'd play Brady with Watson this week. Considering the stack flex, Schultz, Fournette, or Pacheco, out of those three, I'm playing Pacheco in the flex. So my suggestion, Mike, overall would be Brady, Watson, Pacheco. Thank you. Brandon Bowman. Let's see your Bowman. Where are we at? Did you have a question? Okay, Bowman, if you could do me a solid, type in the chat as to what your question is. It'd be greatly appreciated. There's another couple names that we need to get to. See if EJ sent in a question earlier or more recently. Nope, nothing from EJ as of late. Okay, very well. And then there was another one. Beast Mode has sent in something, but there was no question attached to it. So let me see here. No Beast Mode as of late. Okay, Beast Mode again. Beast Mode 23. And EJ, if you all can send in a question along with the most recent ghosted super chat here, technically, which would be in the case of, I've lost the question. Wow. What a week, huh, guys? Which is Brandon Bowman. I got to type that name down. Okay, so this is what's going to happen, guys. Sorry, Bowen. Apologies. So here's what's going to happen, okay? We're going to rapid fire because I am so far behind on some of these questions. I am so significantly behind. I'm going to have to rapid fire for the next 37 minutes straight, okay? I'm not looking at the chat. If we mention kicker defensive rankings, it's by proxy of somebody asking for them. Otherwise, we're full sending because I am far behind, okay? Here we go. I'm closing all these other tabs. I am funneling information full speed ahead. The chat is off my screen. We're going. Here we go. To the max. It says Juwan Johnson or Waller. I'm playing Waller there. Juwan Johnson's not starting. It's Waller. Thank you. Prolific Max says Connor, DJ Moore, Christian Watson, full PPR flex. I'm going to play DJ Moore there in the flex full PPR. Thank you. Actually, you know what? Let me check this just to make sure. And maybe Connor has him beat in my flex rankings just to confirm. We have, where the heck is Connor on this list? I think I probably have Connor a little bit ahead of him, but I could be wrong. DJ Moore at 31, Connor at 28. Yep, I have Connor ahead of him. That's why I was suspicious about it. So Connor's technically the play based on Andrew of 4 hours ago. So we go Connor, DJ Moore, Watson in that order. Jason Rodriguez says McKinnon or DeAndre Hopkins. I'll take McKinnon this week. Gunny says, I'm a little late to the party, for the party. So this is the question, may have already been asked. In half PPR scoring format, Kenneth Walker with a bad back and ankle or Zach Moss? Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. He didn't practice all week long. They let him rest all 3 days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He is expected to play today. So if he is expected to go, he's in my lineup. Thank you, Gunny. Appreciate it. Dilo says started. Knight, need a boom play. Moss, KJ, or Taysom. We go with Taysom Hill there. Sergio. Holy moly, Sergio. That's extremely generous. I don't see a question, man. Hopefully there's something in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to have to keep it moving. Sergio says, yo, Drake London or Gabe Davis. Drake London's my suggestion there. Standard. I also have Josh Allen. Okay. In the case of a standard format, standard scoring, I'll take Gabe Davis. And I'll cross my fingers and hope for the upside touchdown play today. Gabe Davis typically scores 1 touchdown every 3 weeks. It's his week. So it's time. Appreciate it. Moving back up to Sergio. Okay. DIY says full PPR for both Miles Sanders and Swift. Okay. So Miles Sanders or Swift, I'll take Miles Sanders there in a full PPR. Watson or Mike Williams, I'll take Watson. Pick a flex, Peoples-Jones, Pickens, Myers, Foreman, Slayton. Of those available options in a full PPR, I will play Slayton. Thank you. Arthur sends in a question, says Taysom Hill over Juwan Johnson. Yes, I would play Taysom Hill over Juwan Johnson. The weather's awful in Cleveland. Eric Sanchez says half PPR. Chubb, Walker, Dobbins, Keenan Allen, start 3. Chubb, Walker, Dobbins, Keenan Allen. If I'm starting 3 in a half PPR scoring format, it's Chubb, Dobbins, and Keenan Allen. Thank you. Kate Elliott says, hey, Andrew, Merry Christmas. Thank you. Need 2 flex and in my full PPR scoring format. We have Connor, we have Deontay, we have Dobbins, we have Evans, we have Montgomery. In a full PPR, I'm playing Connor, and I'm following it up with probably, do I play Dobbins or Deontay? Deontay could probably catch the ball 6 times for 60 yards and be a safe play. No, I'll probably go Dobbins there. A little bit more touchdown upside. Thank you, kid. So it's Connor and Dobbins. Atlas Westbrook says, pick 2, flex, full PPR. Knox, Pickens, Goodwin, DPJ Dotson. Okay, DPJ Dotson. Okay, so of those options, picking 2, Goodwin, number 1, Knox, number 2. DPJ is Watson. Okay, is Watson worth a flex over Mixon in a standard league? No. I'd play Mixon there. Judy's my wide receiver too, so I'm stuck. I mean, at this point, you're okay. I mean, I don't think you're technically stuck. You got pretty good options across the board. And considering it's standard, yeah, I do prefer the running back there. Ignacio Diaz says, who do I start in the flex? Taysom Hill, Cordero Patterson, or Michael Pittman Jr. in standard league? I'll play Taysom Hill there. Merry Christmas, Andrew. Thanks for all the hard work. Thank you very much, Ignacio. Hector Gonzalez says, flex full PPR, Aaron Jones, White, Judy, or Foreman. I'll play Aaron Jones there. Thank you. Lay H says, half PPR. I'm considering starting Khalil Herbert or Marquise Goodwin or Deion Jackson in the flex instead of Deontay Johnson. In a half PPR, you could play Marquise Goodwin instead of him. You could, technically. I don't love it, but you could. Garrett Wilson started. Yeah, if you're looking for like a boom play, Marquise Goodwin's probably it, if that's what you're specifically looking for. I'm already starting the following thoughts. Yeah, if you're considering you started Garrett Wilson, the other pieces you have can get the job done, but if you're looking for the boom play late, I think Marquise Goodwin probably has got himself more of that boom or bust potential. M. Leasy says, I need a flex, full PPR, Swift, Williams, DPJ. Of the three options, I'm not playing DPJ. It's between Swift and Williams. I'm probably in the conversation of most likely playing Swift there. Thank you. Mike Amdahl says, Geno Minshew. Geno or Minshew? I'll play Geno. Follow up, flex, Jamal Williams, Goodwin, Rashad White. Between those three, Goodwin. Follow up to that, defense, Chiefs, Dallas, Detroit. I'll take the Dallas defense. Randy Gibson says, full PPR. Do I flex Kamara, Evans, or DJ Moore? In a full PPR scoring format, I'll probably still play Kamara there. Thank you. Moving on, I can hear my Gardner. I think, is it the Gardner? No, it's the next door neighbors. No, yeah, it's next door neighbors. It's too far away. I can hear it. You guys can't. Never mind. Gary Webster. Gary, is there something else that you sent in? Because hopefully there is. Gary, you did. Okay. Gary says, I'm in a Yahoo PPR. Why is there a gardener working on... that's not a gardener. That's somebody mowing their lawn on Christmas Eve. There's got to be somebody mowing their lawn. Ain't no way. During our live stream of all days. Good Saturday morning mowing of the lawn. Goodness gracious. All right, tight end, Andrews or Waller. I'll take Andrews there. Defense, Bills or Chargers. I'll take the Bills. So Bills and Andrews. Thank you very much, Gary. AS sends in a question. AS says, half PPR, Pacheco, Mixon, Waddle. Also, why Brady over A-Rod? The Cardinals matchup. Trace McSorley is the quarterback on the other side of the field. It's probably going to lead to a lot of potential 3-and-outs, leading to a lot of Brady against a secondary that's pretty beat up. Marco Wilson's dealing with an injury, could potentially miss. We know Byron Murphy's out. And their other cornerback, I forget his name eludes me, is also dealing with an injury. And they've also got a couple, missing defensive linemen. The pass rush isn't going to be as heavy as we think because Zach Allen's missing. So, moving on to your prior question, Mixon, Waddle, or Pacheco. If I'm not mistaken, I think I have Waddle over the bunch. I can confirm this, though, just to make sure. Mixon is at 31.5 PPR. Waddle's at 28. Yep, so we'll take Waddle there. Thank you. Rusty Wright says, full PPR, Keenan Allen or Jalen Waddle. I'll take Keenan Allen. Follow up, start McKinnon over the other. Yes, I would play McKinnon over Waddle. So it's Keenan Allen and McKinnon there. Rusty, thank you. Trevor John says, Dak or Brady. I'll take Dak. Najee or Dobbins. I'll take Najee. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Dylan says, full PPR, flex, Terrace Marshall or Tutu Atwell. I'll take Terrace Marshall there. Moving on. Trinity Vincent says, can you explain why Knox over Freiermuth? Yeah, Freiermuth over the course of the last 5 games with Kenny Pickett is only averaging 7.18 half PPR fantasy points per game. And Knox over the last 2 weeks, 15 plus fantasy points on average, getting himself a pretty high volume of overall opportunity. If the volume of opportunity continues to stay as steady as it has in comparison to where Freiermuth kind of sits in the baseline, the touchdown upside kind of leans in the direction of Knox having just a little bit more potential within the given week. Thank you. Crack a Mac says, full PPR, Slayton, Swift, Latavius Murray. Of the 3 options, I'm probably playing Latavius. Thank you. Tyro says, Jones or Minshew? It's Jones. Thank you. Fubi24 says, start 2 full PPR, Chark, Sutton, Lazard, DPJ, or Brandon Cooks. I'll take Chark there. Man, Anthony says, more upside, Chase or Maher in terms of kicker. Brett Maher has more upside instead of Chase McLaughlin. Scared of Foles? Yeah, you're fine. Just play Maher. You're fine. Joe sends in a question. Joe Spinelli, where are you, my man? Please. All right. Says, I accidentally donated without my question. Hope you see this. I am seeing this. Who would you start in the flex? Rachaad White over Marquise Goodwin? No, I'd play Marquise Goodwin over Rachaad White this week. Thank you. Even in a half or full PPR. In a standard league, I think I'm just going Marquise Goodwin all the way there. Stuart Andrew says, Merry Christmas. Thank you. Defensive question. Texans, Bucks, or Broncos? I'll take the Bucks, Broncos, Texans in that order, Stuart. Thank you. Kilpatrick says, set my tight end. Waller, Schultz, Taysom Hill need upside. Assuming it's a half PPR like the rankings on screen, I'll take Schultz out of the 3. Crypt Keeper says, PPR. I need 1. Sutton, Latavius Murray, Gabriel Davis, Rachaad White. I will take Latavius Murray out of the bunch in a full PPR. Thank you. Quan Nugent. Let's see here, Quan. Come on, Quan. Be in the chat. Quan, beautiful. Says Marquise Goodwin or Brandon Cooks. I'll take Goodwin. Follow up. Brady or Geno Smith. I'll take Brady. Awesome. Thank you, Quan. I appreciate your spamming of the chat. That actually helped a lot. I appreciate that. And Adam Dietz or Diets. I don't know. Says with a Z, says flex half PPR Swift Terry McLaurin. I'll take Terry McLaurin there. Christopher Coffin says Jacoby Myers, Treylon Brooks, Allen Lazard. Jacoby Myers is my suggestion. I don't love the matchup against Mike Hinton. It's kind of rough, but I'll still play Jacoby Myers there. Benjamin Burner says Benjamin, where art that question? Daniel Jones, Brock Purdy, or Minshew? I'll play Daniel Jones there. Minshew second, Purdy third. Again, rankings are on screen, guys. I do appreciate you all supporting the channel with those super chats, but a lot of the questions could be answered on screen. I'm telling you. Let's see here. Okay, another super chat sent in. We had Jake Lipskin says 2 quarterback league PP. Okay, so it's a 2 QB league. Gabe Davis, Sam Darnold, or Russell Wilson. I'll play Sam Darnold there. Thank you. Moving on, we had another question. Where was Lipskin? Where the heck did that question go? Stuart Andrew says Deion Jackson or Brian Robinson Jr. need upside. If you're playing in a full PPR, I play Deion Jackson. If it's a half PPR standard, you have to play Brian Robinson and hope for him to fall into the end zone. Isaiah Hernandez says I pick 2, London, DPJ, Goodwin, or Dotson. I'll play Goodwin in London. Thank you. Jaw Dropping Comedy says, hey, good morning, Andrew. Good morning. I love the show, man. I appreciate it. In a punishment league, the loser gets their chest waxed. I mean, that'd be awful. You guys see how much facial hair I have? You should see my chest. It's an absolute disaster. It's like Austin Powers. Have you seen that movie? It's a disaster. Flex number 2. Okay, so there's 2 flex options. Brandon Cook, Deion Jackson, Slayton, and Njoku Hubbard. Of the potential options that you've mentioned there, I will be more inclined to play Brandon Cooks and Slayton over the bunch. Thank you. Ulysses Ventura says, full PPR, Russell Gage, Alec Pierce, Julio Jones, Jamal Williams, Kadarius Toney, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. If you had to pick one. If I had to pick one, it's Jamal Williams. Thank you. Benjamin Burner says Jones, Purdy, Minshew. Again, I'm playing Jones over the bunch. Dark Minikin. Yeah, Dark Minikin says, hey, Andrew, happy holidays. Happy holidays to you as well. Okay, we have full PPR question, Superflex. Hurts owner sadly would play Deshaun Watson or Huntley. Wait, you have to play one of those two? I'm playing Deshaun Watson if I have to play one of those two. I don't trust Tyler Huntley at all. The guy's had 6 fantasy points each of the last 2 weeks, so I don't really trust Tyler Huntley there. Deshaun Watson, I mean, I hate the weather, but quite frankly, I have him ranked higher. J-Bo says Taysom Hill or Nate David and Njoku. I'll take Taysom Hill. J.K. Dobbins or DeAndre Hopkins. I'll play J.K. in a half PPR in a standard. I'll play Hopkins in a full PPR. Final question, Kirk or Tua. I'll take Tua there. Moving on. Let's talk about Bryant Ortega says, half PPR bonus for extra 100 rushing yards and receiving yard game. 50-yard touchdown bonus. Pacheco or Swift. I'll take Pacheco there. Follow-up question, Pittman, Dotson, or Goodwin. I'll take Pittman. Thank you. Fainsky says, greetings and salutations, Andrew. Full PPR start. Brady over Burrow? No, I'm not too worried about the weather at that extent in the New England game, so I'll still play Burrow there. He says I have Godwin, also pick 2, Swift, K9, Latavius Murray, Pickens, Goodwin, and Cook. Of the potential options in a half PPR scoring format, I'll take K9 and Murray. Thank you. Quick to Mac says, trust Adams in the post-apocalyptic nuclear winter Pittsburgh weather, or roll with T. Higgins against the injury-riddled Patriots secondary, half PPR. He's a stud option. I can't not start my stud. I'm starting Devontae Adams. Thank you. Dilo says pick wide receiver pick a wide receiver in a flex. Moss, Dotson, Myers. If I'm not mistaken, I have Dotson and it's Dotson and Moss that are the highest ranked of the 3. Thank you. Dom sends in a question, says, hey, Andrew, in a full PPR scoring format, special teams touchdown and 0.1 per yards. Jamal Williams or Antonio Gibson? I'll take Jamal Williams. Oh, and special team. Wait, no. Special teams. Wait, are you getting special teams yardage as well? If you're getting special teams yardage as well, Dom, I'm playing Antonio Gibson over Jamal Williams today. Thank you. Muhammad says, full PPR, my last flex spot. Who would you start between James Cook, Tyler Algier, Gabe Davis, Jahan Dotson, Alan Lazard, Treylon Brooks? In a full PPR scoring format, I'm probably leaning towards playing either Jahan Dotson or Gabe Davis. I could go either way. I think I'm probably, in this circumstance, though, I'm probably playing Jahan Dotson there. Thank you. Randall V says, D-Hop, Pacheco, Christian Watson in the flex. Assuming it's a half PPR, I'm probably playing Pacheco over the two there. If it's a full PPR, I'll play D-Hop. Moving on, we had a question that you had there, Randall, that says, I have Waddle. Okay, so you have Waddle and Keenan now. Yeah, so if it's a half PPR, it's going in the direction of Pacheco most likely. Let me actually confirm this. Half PPR, I have Christian Watson there. I have a half PPR ranked as Christian Watson at 37 and Pacheco at 38. So technically, Andrew's even split on the idea because 4 hours ago, Andrew said Watson over Pacheco. Now I'm going elsewhere. I think I like the upside of that game is fantastic. I think I'm still playing Pacheco there, considering what you have on roster. CB says, standard, I need a wide receiver in a flex between Christian Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, Kenneth Murray, and Merry Christmas, Bearded Wonder. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, later tonight I'll be coming down the chimney and delivering fantasy presents in the terms of championships. I appreciate it. So of your specific question in a standard scoring format, I'll play Christian Watson there. CB, thank you. Chef says full PPR, Chubb, Zeke, Aaron Jones, pick 2. I'll play Chubb and Aaron Jones. Thank you. Dom says in a 6-point per passing touchdown super flex format, I have to choose between Pickett and Huntley. I'll take Kenny Pickett. He's used to the Pittsburgh weather. He played in Pittsburgh his entire college career, so I'm sure he's used to the weather. It's not a big deal. Thank you. If anything, it gets Pickett running the ball a little bit more, which we know he certainly has the ability to do so. They just don't run RPO as much within the Matt Canada offense as we initially thought he would. Justin sends in a question, says, I see Minshew moved up. Better play than Purdy. Yes, I believe he's a better play. Jason says, how confident are you with Walker with the back and ankle? His presence in terms of playing in itself is enough to where I'm convinced that based on the fact that they're willing to play him, he's healthy and ready to go, just like last week. Let's see here. Cardia Cat says half PPR scoring, or sorry, it's not a half PPR. It's a full PPR and a half a point per carry. Montgomery, Herbert, Devin Singletary, and Dillon. Oh, goodness. In a full PPR, half per carry, I'm probably playing, oh my god, it's probably, I think David Montgomery is probably the play. Half a point per carry, David Montgomery with, it's Montgomery or Dillon. Let me think about this. I think we play it safe. We just play let's play DJ. No. Let's play AJ Dillon there. Let's play AJ Dillon. Full PPR, half point per carry. Let's play AJ Dillon. Thank you. Dom says, I appreciate all the help over the last couple of years, buddy. I'm in 5 semis today. Good luck on our match as well. I appreciate it. Good luck, Dom. Appreciate it. Rick says, non-PPR, I need 2. Hopkins, Slayton, Goodwin. I'll take Hopkins and Goodwin. Follow up. Hopkins game total is so low, 40. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Yeah, listen. It's a non-PPR, huh? No, I'm still playing Hopkins. Listen, I think Trace McSorley, based on the amount of volume of opportunity that he sent in the direction of Hopkins, gives me enough confidence to where I'm still starting my stud in that circumstance. Jamel Dean is out. There's also potential which Antoine Winfield is possibly also out. So a lot of that corner coverage is going to be a little bit softer than we typically expect from Tampa Bay, which allows Hopkins to be a little bit more of an upside play in comparison. Appreciate it. Time Plays Games says Walker or D-Hop in a full PPR format. I will play Hopkins there in a full PPR. Skyler Zakin says, pick 2 to start. Goodwin, Cooper, Chark, Moore as Lazard. I'll play Chark and I'll play Goodwin. Thank you. Sandy O says PPR. First place, ride with the Eagles or Tampa Bay defense. I'll play Tampa Bay's defense. Thank you. Corey Miller says full PPR, pick 3, Montgomery, Rashad White, Isiah Pacheco, Deontay Johnson. In a full PPR scoring format, I'd play Pacheco first, Montgomery second, Deontay third. I'm benching Rashad White. Thank you. Paul Getz says not playing Amari, Cortland Sutton, or Zach Moss. Yeah, I'm probably not. I mean, I don't like any of those three options technically, but if I had to pick one this week, I'd probably playing Zach Moss. Thank you. Demont Smith, thank you very much. Very generous of you. Full PPR. Who would you bench out of these three? Deion Jackson, Drake London, or Brandon Ayuk? If I'm benching one of the three, I'm probably benching Deion Jackson, and I'm hoping for the best from the wide receivers in a full PPR. Thank you, Drew. Drew Metal says, Pacheco or Pittman full PPR flex. I think I still play Pacheco there. Thank you. Jackie Lou says half PPR flex, Algier or DPJ. I'll play Algier there. Again, I don't trust the weather in Cleveland. If you want to trust it, by all means, that's your prerogative. I've seen enough in my mind to opt away from it. Sam Corey says, McKinnon or D-Hop. I'll take McKinnon there. Titans or Broncos defense. I'll take the Broncos defense. Thank you. TJ Packing Inc. says, Waddle or Najee Harris PPR. Really good question. Najee Harris in my full PPR rankings is at 30 and Jalen's at 27. So Jalen Waddle's the play there. Thank you. Mark Lindsay, what is it? Yeah. Mark Lindsay says full PPR, Gabe Davis or DJ Chark. Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate it. I'm going to go with DJ Chark there this week. Dale Derrick says full PPR, Lions, full PPR, Lions, 3 questions, Broncos or Bucks. Okay, that was a little bit out of order. Between the 3 defenses, I'll play the Bucks, then the Broncos, then the Lions. As for your second question, double flex, Walker, McKinnon, or Juju. I'll play McKinnon and Juju. Final question, Titans or Ravens. I'll play the Ravens. Thank you. Alfredo says 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, PPR, Algier, Osborne, Moss, Cooks, London. Okay, PPR, 1 RB, 2 wide receivers. Of the potential running backs, I'll play Algier. Of the potential wide receivers, I'll play London and Cooks. Thank you. Taylor Smith says semifinals here. I have Najee, I have Mixon, I have Ekeler, as well as Diggs, Waddle. Oh my God, we're running out of time. Or AJ Brown. Okay, Najee, Mixon, Ekeler, awesome. Diggs, Waddle, AJ Brown, awesome. Do I start 3 running backs to take Diggs out? No, I'm not taking Diggs out. I can't bench Diggs. Sorry. So in your case, you play Najee and Ekeler, you bench Mixon, and you play the entire slate of wide receivers you have in a full PPR. Thank you. Big Body Birds, 21 says PPR, Zach Moss, Algier, Patterson. Battle of the RB3s. It really is. At this current circumstance, in a full PPR, I just broke my neck. We currently have Algier right behind Zach Moss. So I'll take Zach Moss out of the 3. Thank you. Justin says full PPR, Mixon or Zeke. And why? Thanks. The primary reason of Zeke is because in a full PPR, he's had 7 consecutive weeks of 15-plus fantasy points and 7 consecutive weeks of scoring at least 1 minimum touchdown, 80-plus rushing yards in each of the last 4 games against the Philadelphia Eagles, 16.4 half PPR fantasy points per game in the last 4 against the Eagles. I'll take Zeke there. Thank you. Pitch Herndon. Or just Pitch. We're just going to call you Pitch for right now, okay? Pitch says, AJ Brown, Higgins, Waddle, Aaron Jones, Mixon, Ekeler, bench 1, full PPR. We're playing Ekeler, we're playing Aaron Jones, we're benching Mixon out of the bunch in a full PPR. Alrighty, moving on. We have Kyle Strobel says Higgins, Walker. My goodness, that the leaf blower is really loud, huh? Kyle Strobel, can you guys hear that? No, my noise suppression is kind of killing it a little bit. Kyle Strobel says Higgins, Walker, Dobbins in a full PPR. Pick 1. Higgins, Walker, Dobbins. I'll take Higgins there in a full PPR. Thank you. Moving on, we have Bolick 007. Full PPR, Akers or Marquise Goodwin. Give me Marquise Goodwin. I appreciate it. Moving on, ER says, how confident are you with the Browns over the Cowboys? Am I confident? To an extent, because I think Gardner Minshew is going to be as good as he is. I think we're going to be in a good spot with the Browns defense. Is the lowest over-under of the season. So that should give you an idea as to the lack of scoring potential there. Anthony Castro says, Moss or Goodwin? I'll take Goodwin in a full PPR. Omar Flores, thank you very much. Very generous of you. Says, running back and flex, Walker, Najee, Dobbins, Evans. I'll take Najee and I'll take Dobbins there. Thank you. Sam Castillo says full PPR. Judy or Pacheco? Full PPR, I'll take Judy there. Follow up with taking, actually, am I playing Judy there? Let me confirm this. Judy. Yeah, it is Judy over Pacheco. We're good. And then the follow-up there's Taysom Hill or Waller. In a full PPR, I'll take Waller. Thank you. Jack Holt says Burrow or Fields. Who's the safer play? I have the lead right now. Quite frankly, who's the safer play? Probably Burrow, because there's less vulnerability of not having. Technically, it's Burrow, but I'm playing Fields. I mean, I got him back to back. So if you want safety, technically Burrow's right next to him in the rankings. So if you want it, roll with it. Otherwise, yeah, I think they're both great plays. Not really, yeah, it's splitting hairs when you get to that kind of a conversation. Kind of a blessing and a curse when you have two good options like that. Joe Small says, Ayuk, Stevenson, Waller, London, flex full PPR. I'm playing Stevenson there. Rhamondre, thank you. Abraham sends in a question, says, full PPR, Mike Williams, Latavius Murray, Deontay Johnson. I will play Latavius out of the 3. Thank you. Jerry Reinhardt says, that's a great last name, by the way. Dobbins, Jacobs, McKinnon, Mixon, bench 1. If I'm benching one of the potential options in a full PPR scoring format, I'm benching J.K. Dobbins. I'm starting Mixon, Jacobs, and Mixon and McKinnon. Thank you. Jacob Reiser says, pick 2, Watson, Mills, Willis, weather concerns. Holy moly. I'm fairly certain I'm playing Davis Mills out of the 3. Oh, I have to pick 2? Oh, goodness. I'm playing Deshaun Watson and Davis Mills. Brian sends in a question, says, Dallas or San Francisco defense? I'll play San Francisco. Gabe Davis or Amari Cooper? I'll play Gabe Davis. Chow says, half PPR. Where's your question, Chow? Chow says, in a half PPR, would you play Adam Thielen or Deion Jackson? I'd play Adam Thielen. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Xavier says, Mixon or Montgomery? Okay, Xavier, Mixon or Montgomery? I'll play Mixon there for sure in a full PPR. Nervous about Mixon's workload. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about it as well, considering he hasn't been as hyper efficient as we'd like him to be. I think he'll have a little bit of a bounce back game here. Thank you. Appreciate it. Ulysses Ventura says full PPR. Gage, Pierce, Julio Jones, Jameson Williams, Kadarius Toney, Marcus Valdes-Scantling. If you have to pick one, can potentially pick up Isaiah McKenzie as well. Of the available options, who do we start? Oh my goodness. Okay, technically, in my rankings, my highest ranked player of the bunch is technically based on, it's Russell Gage. That's the guy who I have ranked the highest. Thank you. Ashley Gomez says, Fant or Johnson at tight end. I'll take Noah Fant. Again, I'd love to play Juwan Johnson. I really would. The touchdown upside is absolutely there, but I don't know if they could pass the ball. I truly do not know. The weather is literally making it to where I'm avoiding it at all costs. Let me actually, last second check. What is it? Saints at Browns on Twitter. Typically, if I go there and then I look at the latest, what are we looking at here? I mean, dude, it's an absolute nightmare of weather. The wind looks bad. The weather looks bad. I don't know why David Njoku's got his shirt off. I mean, what is happening? But yeah, I'm pretty off of it right now. I'm not gonna pivot back onto it. I'll play Fant there. Thank you. Definitely not an athlete. Says happy football Saturday. Yeah, and Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. My favorite bearded man besides Santa Claus, of course. Thank you. I appreciate the super chat for that. Matthew Stamper says, full PPR. I need to start 2 running backs between Swift, Fournette, and Pacheco. Give me Fournette and Pacheco out of the 3. Thank you. Joseph says, half PPR, Zeke, McKinnon, Connor. Why Zeke over McKinnon in a half PPR? Mainly because of stability. McKinnon could very easily outscore Zeke. I just think Zeke's 7 consecutive weeks makes it that much of a safer play. I think McKinnon could disappear and not score the 2 touchdowns and just get yardage today and be safe in doing so, but I just can't start him in a half PPR in comparison to a full. That full PPR difference, considering he's had 7+ receptions each of the last 2 weeks, like if you just flip that 3.5 points to 7 that he gets off PPR, that 3-point differential really does increase his overall, value in comparison from half to full PPR. Jacob T says, tough tight end start, TJ Hawkinson or Waller. I'll probably just go Hawkinson there. I think the target volume is certainly going to be in his favor. I think the quarterback play is probably going to be far better off there in his circumstance as well. Luis Becerra says, Merry Christmas. Hope Keenan Allen and Chris Godwin go off today. Fingers crossed. You don't need to cross your fingers, my man. They're going to get the jobs done. They're going up against secondaries that are having their number one nickel cornerbacks completely missing. They're both injured. Kenny Moore and Byron Murphy. It should be a field day for slot receivers today. Thank you. James Newton says, full PPR, Algier Pacheco. I'll take Pacheco there, James. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And Scar Shiesty says, Marquise Goodwin or Thielen in the flex, standard scoring format. In the standard scoring format, I think there is a little bit more of an incentive to play Thielen based on the fact that he scored a touchdown in 3 out of the last 4. So I probably lean towards that. I could see the argument for Marquise Goodwin. He's a higher boom bust player, but for right now, standard, let's just go with Thielen. Appreciate it. I think I caught up. The only thing that I now have to do, besides answer questions in the chat, is make sure that I somehow see if Beast Mode by any chance sent in a message anytime in the... Nope, Beast Mode's gone. Okay, Beast Mode... never sent in anything after that. Okay, very well. And then the EJ question. Let's see if EJ was anywhere in the neighborhood. EJ Rodriguez, anything, my man? Nope, nothing. Okay, well, EJ's gone as well. All right, well, I tried. Appreciate it. We had a question just come in from Andrew. Says, half PPR, Lenny, Murray, Judy, Mike Williams, Goodwin. In a half PPR scoring format, I'll take Latavius Murray over the bunch. Follow up. Mark says, nothing. There's nothing attached to it. Mark, where's your question, my man? Alexander Drucker says standard league flex Kenneth Walker or Pacheco. Standard league, I'll probably play Pacheco there. As soon as I thought I caught up, I didn't catch up, did I? Broncos or Browns defense? Mac, I'll play the Broncos. Where the heck is... Okay, I got to find Mark's question. Mark, where art thou? Mark says, full PPR, Kenneth Walker or Goodwin today? I knew this question was coming, and I dread the idea of it. I truly do. I think there's a... I think you just play Kenneth... Ah, man. Yep, I think we just play Kenneth Walker. That's it. I'm just going to drop it there. It's tough. I think we're just playing Kenneth Walker. Is Charvarius Ward playing? Based on the last time that I saw, I don't believe he is. Let me see here. If you go check Twitter... because I know he was questionable to play. Even if he does end up... I mean, if he plays, it's definitely tougher for McLaurin technically. But I'm fairly certain there's a chance that he doesn't. Let me actually see here. Charvarius. Is he going to end up playing today? Latest? Is there anything here? I don't see anything about him. Do they play in the morning slate? Because if they don't, they won't have the injury active report ready or not. Okay, moving on. So we took care of Mark's question. And Alexander Drucker, your question, yeah, we're gonna play Pacheco over Walker. Moving on to Jerry Reinhardt says Devonta Smith or Mixon in a full PPR. We'll play Mixon there. Lucius says Dak or Minshew. We'll play Dak. Follow up Bass or Gano. I don't love the weather, so I'll probably play Gano there. Bibby K says Hopkins or K9 in the flex. K9 and a half PPR and K9 and a half. DeAndre Hopkins in a full. Thank you. Redify says, or just Red says, need a boom PPR play Mike Williams or Michael Pittman Jr. If I'm relying on a boom play, I'm playing Mike Williams there. Thank you. Julius Landry says half PPR Taysom Hill or Tyler Algier in my flex. I'll take Taysom Hill there. Yeah, I'll take Taysom Hill. Thank you. Oh my goodness, my brain is going to explode. Cowboys or Titans defense, says Sean. I'll take the Titans there. Okay, speaking of defense, let's just do the top 12 defensive rankings once again for the final time today. All right, number 1, San Francisco 49ers. Number 2, Buffalo Bills. Number 3, Tampa Bay Bucks. Number 4, Denver Broncos. Number 5, Baltimore Ravens. Number 6, Tennessee Titans. Number 7, Cleveland Browns. Number 8, Cincinnati Bengals. Number 9, Dallas Cowboys. Number 10, New Orleans Saints. 11 is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and 12 are the Rams. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All righty. Sanders or Walker in a standard format. I probably am still leaning in the direction of going with the one and only Sanders there. Thank you. Was it Gano or Carlson at kicker? I think I'm okay playing Carlson there. I think there's enough of a volume there to get it. Okay, we had Michael says, okay, so we took care of that. Good. Awesome, perfect, awesome. Mario Gutierrez says, I think you missed my last question. Mario, did you send in another question, my man? Should I play JK or Swift? Andrew's at tight end. I'm confused at the question. Wait, how did I miss these questions? What the heck happened there? I understand. My chat updated and it moved me to the bottom. Okay, so I did miss a group here. This is a disaster. Okay, getting back. Let's see some of these questions. Did we do this one? Matthew Stamper, I'm pretty sure we did. We said Pacheco. Yeah, we did Pacheco, Fournette. Then we didn't do Joseph. I remember not doing Joseph. Kicker, Folk or McPherson. I'll take McPherson there. Or Gano or Pinheiro. Yeah, I'll take McPherson out of the group. Patrick Baker said Davis Mills or Andy Dalton. I'll take Davis Mills. Mario Gutierrez says, should I play JK or Swift? I'll play JK there. Thank you. Juan Rivera says, everybody hit the like button. Thank you very much, Juan. Says, just showing support, buddy. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Flex full PPR. Fournette, Pittman, Goodwin, or Slayton. I mean, at this point, I'm probably going to play Fournette there. PRMNT said, should I start McKinnon over Dalvin Cook today? No. I'd still play Dalvin Cook. Charles R says half PPR. Zeke, McKinnon, Connor. I'm playing Zeke out of the 3 there. I think we already took care of that one, right? And then we move on to Jacob T. And then we talked about Hawkinson. Hawkinson. Okay, so there we go. We caught up. Apologies. That's what happens. It updated and it messed it up. I'm glad that Mario was able to get there and kind of establish that. Thank you. Kevin T says full PPR flex, Deion Jackson or Jahan Dotson. I'll play Jahan Dotson there. Will Patel says, why do you like Pollard over McKinnon? Hard decision. I know it's a hard decision. The primary reason is because just more consistency of play as of the course of the season. Just basically that. Consistency does play a pretty big part in my rankings overall. So when I look at the potential of Pollard, if he scores a touchdown, he's probably an 18-point player today. Maybe even more upside if he gets himself receiving work. So it's hard for me to kind of pivot away from someone who I know is going to get a high volume of touches and probably nearly 20 in comparison to someone like McKinnon who in a given week, if it's Pacheco scoring those touchdowns, we could be in a little bit of trouble. You know what I mean? King O'Shawn says, Ayuk or Richie James? I mean, in a full PPR, I'm probably going Richie James there. I don't love it. I'll probably just go Ayuk there, just a little bit more touchdown upside in comparison. But I mean, to be honest, Ayuk is literally just there because Ayuk is the only wide receiver in that offense that is left. Otherwise, I don't feel so confident about it either way. So I could live with benching him. I could live with starting him. It's just a lot of potential for mess. That's all I can pretty much say on it. AJ Dominguez says, Judy or Slayton? I'll take Judy. Thank you. Again, guys, the rankings on screen should answer your question. Somebody in the chat was just asking Juju or what was the question? Juju or Judy? Yeah, again, I got Juju ahead of him. So again, if you want to ask the chat will lead you in the direction. But otherwise, my rankings are on screen. Michael said Carlson or Gano. Yeah, I'm still going to play Carlson there. I think we've caught up theoretically, right? Yes, we did. Okay. Okay, guys. So it is 9:59. That pretty much concludes today's stream. My brain is completely fried. Good luck, everyone. I do appreciate all of you who sent in super chats. I do appreciate all of you who asked questions, answered questions in the chat. Continue to help support the community. For those of you who clicked the like button, thank you once again. Myers or Gano, I'll play Gano there. Judy or Watson, I'll take Judy. Robinson or Foreman, I'll take Robinson. Thielen or Jahan Dotson, I'll take Thielen. Dotson or Chark, I'll take Jark. Brady or Geno, I'll take Brady. Goodwin or Brandon Cooks, I'll take Goodwin. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Flex scoring, what is this question from Ando? Ando, what's up, man? One running back. We need Kamara, Dobbins, Zeke, Keenan Allen. Okay, so if we're playing in a standard scoring format there, Ando, I think I'm playing both running backs. I think I'm playing Zeke and Kamara. Devontae Adams seems like a bad matchup. The matchup's not bad. It's the weather that's bad. It's a difference. Najee or Walker in a full PPR. Johnny Ma, play Najee. Again, rankings are on screen. Goodwin over Shaheed. Yeah, I'm playing Goodwin over all the Cleveland receivers in that game. My voice is gone pretty much. Ravens or Eagles? Actually, it's not gone. I could probably go for another 2 hours, but I need water. Ravens or Eagles defense? I'll take the Ravens. Ooh, baby. Brain is fried. It is. Like, dude, I'm telling you, my brain is cooked right now. Okay. I do appreciate y'all. That was a very interesting live stream. I'm glad I was able to catch up to an extent. Kicker rankings. I got Myers. Can I pivot to McLaughlin? I would pivot to McLaughlin or Joseph, either one, whichever's available. I prefer McLaughlin though. Juwan Johnson, or Njoku. I play Juwan Johnson there if I had a choice between one of the two, David. You're the man. Yeah, my brain definitely needs a rest, especially considering I'm running off of an hour and a half of sleep. I fell asleep at 5:30 this morning. Woke up at 7. Pretty good morning this week. Let's go. Happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas. And Happy New Year. I don't know what's going on. Either way, today's going to be interesting because based on math alone, half of you are going to lose, right? Technically, half of you will lose and half of you won't. Now, my hope is that all of you will win, but based on math and based on the randomness of football and the instability and inconsistency of play from different players and different positions and the weather and all this kind of jazz, we're in a little bit of trouble. But hopefully, Michael, I played Dobbins over Kenneth Walker. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully we can all get on the right, track. Alrighty. I do appreciate y'all. We're in a good spot. Thank you everybody for watching. Until next time, which will be tomorrow morning, I will be live streaming once again, Christmas Day, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be talking about tomorrow's games, if in fact you have any questions regarding that. And that should be it, y'all. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to cue the music, and I'm going to go watch some football and enjoy this this wonderful Saturday. Thanks, y'all. And until next time, much love. I'll see you. Peace. Good luck.